Let's fucking go. Finally made it. Holy moly. My apologies, y'all. I am so sorry, and I hope this doesn't happen again. I am pumped. I am feeling the juices flowing. I am feeling lifeblood in me again. Music does that to me. I had a very emotional day today. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I am that kind of person. I'm a crier. I'm a freaking. I'm an emotional vampire, man. When it comes to music, especially because I get really passionate about it. And those of you that know me, and those of you that don't, if I've ever had a conversation with you, and I know the few of you that are here right now, and I so apologize to anybody that's hanging out, waiting earlier. I so apologize, but there was somebody playing tonight that I really, 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 really found out about late to the draw. I got a chance to see, and it's a good friend, a person that comes in, a great artist named Austin Plain, Plaine, from Fargo, Minnesota. He is definitely influenced by country music, Dylan. I don't know, but a great artist, great guy, such a nice person, and a really damn good singer. And and he has a roommate named Phil, who's a bass player, and he is freaking awesome too. And a guy named Wyatt, who is also a roommate, plays guitar. Man, these guys have been going at it. They work hard. They're great. Look them up. Austin Plain, Austin like the city, Plaine. Um, he's great. He's great, and he has a song that's played at University of Houston football games, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Houston. But anyway, so yeah, so my apologies for being late. I'm so sorry, and I really appreciate anybody that's tuning in right now. I can't tell you how much music has been such a big part of my life over the years. It kind of faded away for a while. Just to give you a little info, I did get a chance to go to Paisley Park for 7 days back in 2002. I'm a huge Prince fan. I watched a full live concert from 1988 today. I listened to Led Zeppelin today. I watched a full 3 hour live concert of Led Zeppelin in 1975 today. It's so inspiring. And so I had these plans tonight to talk about Hollywood after the election and this and that. And you know what, man? Like, I'm a talker. I don't give a shit. And if you like to listen to me, you ain't got nothing going on. Put me on the secondary screen. Put me in the background. uh, Playing a video game, whatever you're doing. I really appreciate it. And if not, I appreciate that too. At the very least, I appreciate you just stopping by. But music gets me so fired up. My son plays music. He's in marching band, and it's so inspiring. I love it because you live your life through other people sometimes, right? And I live my life through my son sometimes in marching band because it reminds me when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, right? 17, whatever. And man, oh man, when I started, some of you may or may not know this, and I'm just going to give you a little background. And the Tyson, the Tyson Jake Paul fight, it's not started. I do have it on the other screen, and I'm gonna give you guys a rundown. I'm gonna try to be a commentator tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Give you a rundown of the fight. If you don't have Netflix, if you do have Netflix, I encourage you. Stop watching me and watch a 58-year-old Mike Tyson fight a 31 years younger Jake Paul, who is an incredible entrepreneur. Don't like the guy, incredible entrepreneur. Um, so just to give you a little background, when I was younger, I wanted to be quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. My neighbors were from Pittsburgh, across the street. They were diehards. They had the jerseys, they had the towels. They were all in, and I mean all fucking in. And as a young child, man, like you just gravitate towards that. Now, I remember I think my parents might have had Super Bowl parties. My dad, not a sports fan, couldn't tell you the Washington Redskins from the Washington Commanders, couldn't tell you the Washington Nationals from the Washington University of Washington in Seattle or whatever the fuck, right? So the thing is like um neighbors that were from Pittsburgh, one of the first people on our street of the houses my grandfather built that my parents bought, probably at a discount. I don't know. Anyway, um, that was crucial to me. No team in Nashville, no professional sports team. We have Vanderbilt football. And for those of you keeping up with college football, Vanderbilt's pretty good this year. But for many a year, trust me, my grandfather, my mother had season tickets, had about 5 seats, 6 seats, something like that. And me and my sister used to go all the time. But bottom line is, there's no pro football here in Nashville, Tennessee, until the Titans came in 1997 to Memphis, 98 to Vanderbilt Stadium, 99 to where they play now. My point being is that we didn't have a team. So as a young child growing up, if you're into sports, and I was, you gravitate to those big time teams. And the Steelers, obviously in the 70s, being one of those big ones. And real quick, before I get too deep in my cups, I want to make sure that I get into this chat and at least recognize the people who have stuck around or who did get a notification, who like to just hear me ramble. And thank God for you. Truly. Thank God for you. Requiem Evangelion is my son. And he is a beautiful young man, and I really do appreciate him being here. Obviously, 3-star draw who just got finished with his Dragonfly review. He's probably posting it. If it has not posted or is still uploading, go watch that review. Please give him the views, man. He does a great job, and he's hard at it. I mean, it just is what it is, right? Everybody's fighting for them views, man, but like he does such a great job, and I have so much fun with him every other Wednesday streaming because it's, talking to family is so much fun, and GI Joe is such a big part of our lives, and that's kind of gonna play into what I'm gonna talk about here in just a little bit. Turk Murphy's Toy Solutions, man, dude, you pop up. I appreciate it, really, I do. Really, I do. You don't really understand how much that means. Menjoza was here early, probably sitting there going, where the fuck is this guy? Where the fuck is this guy? He says he's going to stream on a Friday night. Then he changes it to a Saturday. Oh, maybe his son's over or there's a football game and now he's going to move it. Dude, love you. Really. Thank you so much. War chest full of toys. Scott, I've had so many talks with you. You're a good dude, and I appreciate you popping in. And yes, I would expect nothing less than you to have the Tyson fight on in the background. And if I could give all of you my password to Netflix, I would, but they're one of those password sharing assholes. And so they don't like that. I think they're going to regret that, actually. Liquid Identity 101. It's illegal to be from Pittsburgh and not be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I would believe that. I don't know how you would grow up in that town and not be a fan. I know there are some Browns fans in Pennsylvania. I know there are some, obviously some Eagles fans. But, man, I am a Steelers fan, diehard through and through. I know I don't have my gear on. I will have it on Sunday when I go to work. I have my Alabama gear on because guess what? I grew up going to Alabama football games because my mom's aunt and uncle lived in the same town, Alabama playing their home games. So, Wraith Mace. Love me some Mike Tyson, buddy. Love me some YouTube, man. That's all I can say. Love me some YouTube. And so, yeah, man, and I do too. I actually really do love the Dragonfly. I don't know if I'm going to put any stickers on it. And you guys tell me. You tell me whether or not you... Here's the reason why you don't want to put... This sounds so stupid. You don't want to put stickers on your Dragonfly because maybe one day when you're older, you might be able to sell it and make some money off of it. And that would fuck that up, right? I'm not saying that's the reason. What I am saying is that that could be the reason. I thought about that when I heard Lawrence on his review. I watched his review. I thought it was thorough. Thought it was very good. I love a punk with toys using the mic, the clip-on mic. I'm going to get one myself because I am a mover. I am a shaker. I like to stand. I bought a standing desk today, one of those ones that you can raise and lower. It has 4 settings and all that shit because, guys, guess what? I'm going to start doing a sports, Pop Blender Sports channel. So for those of you that are involved, those of you that like sports, there's going to be some changes in the new year. There's going to be some changes. I'm going to dedicate quite a bit, and there's going to be some changes, and I'm going to start a secondary channel for sports, and it's going to be involved mainly in football. Trying to incorporate some other stuff, but yeah. So I wanted to have a desk I can stand and be on my feet. I think on my feet. It's what I do at work. I enjoy it. So I had some plans for this stream. I did. And as I'm watching someone sing so gallantly streaming in the Rockets red glare right now, I don't know who this chick is. Um, Man, when I go hear live music, y'all, and this really kind of threw the whole my plans off for this stream and Hollywood post election and watching some of the actors TikTok and Instagram and whatever X videos. It was a very emotional day today. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been in the dumps for about 3 weeks. Like really in the dumps for about 3 weeks. I don't know if like it's the time change thing for me. The older I've gotten, there are things that affect me more than they used to, and maybe some of y'all can understand that. The weather, for instance, the heat, the cold, um, the time change, right? I probably have a lot different schedule than many of you out there. Sometimes I go in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I work, and they're not long shifts by any means. And I will never pretend to be like, man, I'm bartending for 9 straight hours. I don't do that anymore. I used to. I'll do it anymore. And then there's times I go in at 10:30 a.m. to open the bar to get ready in the restaurant to get ready. Um, 10:30 a.m. That's 3 hours. That's 4 hours into some people's work days. 5 hours for those of you that are in construction and lawn care, all kinds of shit, right? And so it's not beyond me to understand that, like, when I talk about like, oh man, I'm going at 4 o'clock, I had to go in at 10:30. It's not beyond me to understand that, like, there's so many people who as Rob Gronkowski's here on camera, um, understand that like my schedule is such a weird thing and it's not normal, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I wouldn't recommend it to my son. And so the thing is though is with that kind of schedule, it allows me a lot of flexibility, flexibility to sleep in, flexibility to watch things that maybe everybody doesn't get a chance to watch at that time, maybe to catch up on things, whatever. And but it reminds me, kind of bringing it around, that I was a musician full time at one time. And a musician's schedule is a very weird thing. It's very strange. And you're up late, you're you know, yeah, maybe once in a while you got to play early, but God bless you if you have to sing at 7 a.m. Okay. God bless you. Go on one of those local cable access shows or the local hometown TV show, right? Here, Talk of the Town or whatever at 8 a.m. You're singing your latest single, but by the time you're at that point, you're a professional. It's what you do for a living. So it's just part of the gig. But for a lot of us, at least for me, in those years, it was mostly spent in bars, 3 or 4 nights a week. Start at 9, end at 2. Play for 45 minutes, take a 15-minute break. Play for 45, take a 15-minute break. That was what it was. And in those days, Nashville was not what it is today, because you'd have to go outside of Nashville. You had to play 45 minutes outside of Nashville, an hour outside of Nashville, 30 minutes, whatever. But downtown was a dead zone. You didn't go downtown. You didn't make no money, right? And so it's encouraging. for me, not from a monetary aspect. It's encouraging for me to go and see friends, be around, be engaged with friends that are in it. They're in it, right? These guys are probably 15 years younger, probably more, but be engaged in the business and shaking and moving and talking to people, man. And I just really, I really love it. I love being around it. I love listening to it. So, so yes. All right. Backstory. When I was a kid, loved sports, played baseball, really good at it. Got diagnosed with a hip disease. And so, at some point in time in the next couple of years after that, like I gravitated towards, I really love drums. I love Phil Collins. In the Air Tonight. Everybody knows that jam. In the Air Tonight was one of my jams. And my mom got me a little Junior Pro drum set, whatever. And so I started playing on it. And then over a few years, I graduated to a new drum set, and then a new drum set, and then a new drum set, right? And over those years' times, being in school band, marching band, practicing at home on my own, um, I got really good, like really, really good. As Jake Paul rides in a Bentley, I think a green Bentley with purple flames on the hood. This is fucking stupid, man. Take a cue from the WWE, man. Just have these guys walk down a damn stage, man. There's a pigeon in a coop. There's a coop on the back of it. This looks like a ride at Opryland or Six Flags or something. This is really dumb, and it's taking entirely way too long. This extra long size green car is on tracks, and this is stupid. But anyway, so yes, I'm gonna get you guys to the fight. Yeah, right. And Turk Murphy says, "I feel you, Papa. It's about time to cash in my chips." Look, man, cash them chips in, buddy, for real. Nonetheless, so look, as a young lad learning how to play drums, I gravitated towards Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, Leonard Skinner, and Elvis Presley. Not the 50s Elvis stuff, the 70s Elvis stuff, because the drummer he had playing for him in the 70s is a guy named Ronnie Tutt. Tutt. Amazing drummer. Tasty, tasty, fun stuff to play. Playing covers. That's all Elvis did. He played just a bunch of fucking covers in the 70s. He played his stuff, but he hated playing his own stuff. He liked what other people were doing out there. And so I loved listening to that music in high school, and everybody thought I was a fucking weirdo blasting. And I had a good stereo in my car too. Six by nines. You guys remember six by nines and tweeters and all that shit? Um, I was busting live Elvis Presley and Led Zeppelin, and everybody else is listening to TLC and Mr. Big, whatever. I'm the one who wants to be with you. So so nonetheless, so I understood at a young age like what really good music and musicianship was. And it hit me at an emotional level because there's times I can remember as a teenager, man, like listening to music, guitar parts. And one of the first ones that ever hit me, and maybe some of y'all will remember this, um, the Rain Song by Led Zeppelin. The Rain Song by Led Zeppelin was that's a song that made me cry today. Not gonna lie. It's a song that made me cry today. Um, it's a live version from 1975. The band is probably in the middle of their like rise and then plateau and then kind of everybody's getting drunk and fat and heroin and all that stuff. So, but man, oh man, what it's beautiful. It's a beautiful song. The Rain Song by Led Zeppelin. Look it up. Watch. Song Remains the Same. Or listen to Song Remains the Same, the song, off of Houses of the Holy. And then watch a version that goes right into the Rain Song. It doesn't do that on the album, but um my point being is because I told you at the top, I'm an emotional like a vampire when it comes to music. Because there are pieces, man. Like, look, I'm a drummer. I couldn't tell you the key of A, E, D, E, C sharp, B flat. Same thing. All right. So I couldn't tell you what something is in. But what I can tell you, and then Josie, yeah, Ginger Baker, Cream, right. And Cream was really they were a blues band. And that's what they were. Uh, Eric Clapton would tell you that straight up. But Ginger Baker, yes, legendary drummer. So my point being is like, um, not even my point. I'm going to continue this because this is my stream. I'm going to continue it. Um, I get really emotional when it comes to music. And there are pieces that I hear even today that will bring me to tears. And the Rain Song by Led Zeppelin is one of those pieces that brings me to tears. I'm sitting at a red light trying to turn left. It's in the middle of the song. And I'm bawling my freaking eyes out, man. Um, it's powerful. And for people that have ever played music, been into music, like um it can do that to you. Uh it can invigorate you, right? You know, I mean, it's what it does. But if you've ever played music, if you've ever tried to emulate these parts, play these parts, whatever, that's kind of what it does sometimes. And man, there are just certain guitar parts, certain vocal parts, certain bass guitar parts, drum parts that will bring me to tears. Because I think, and a lot of times what happens is I'm thinking in the moment, and I'm like, you know, what did it take to play this part? And then record it and then go back and listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Like go back and actually listen to it and just be in that. And yes, I agree, War Chest. This fight is we're four we're 4 rounds in out of 8, and I had a feeling it would be what I thought it was going to be. I didn't want to take away from anybody that was wanting to watch it. I thought I would maybe try to narrate it or commentate on it a little bit, but yeah, it's not. You guys aren't missing much. It's two guys feeling each other out, and I have a feeling at the end of it all, they're gonna hug it out, and they're gonna take their uh, Mike Tyson 20 million payday, and Jake Paul his 40 or whatever, and that's it. Yeah. You're supposed to be commenting on this shit. Uh, well, to be completely honest with you, 3 star, when I pulled up Netflix and hit play, they were still talking about the fight coming up. And then it took me probably about 2 minutes before War Chest actually said something, is when I just happened to look and like, oh, I'm a little behind. But I wasn't just a little behind. I was like like 12 minutes behind. This fight is garbage, dude. And there's going to be a lot of people pissed. As a matter of fact, a lot of the money was coming in on Tyson taking a dive. A lot of people thought Tyson was just going to just take a dive and get his 20 million payday. That was a lot of the money coming in. Round 5, here we are. So foolish on me to actually pull up the Netflix on Chrome, put it to another screen, hit play, and expect that it would be live because it wasn't. It's been sitting here playing the whole time, and I was like, "Golly, this thing is taking a long time," and maybe I need to check on it. And I just looked at the stream, and I was like, Shit's like 12 minutes behind. Yeah, this is good on Jake Paul, entrepreneur. Good on him. Really, truly good on him. Mike, 58-year-old man in the ring. Uh, I would have been knocked out by now by either one of these men. So I'm not stupid. These are big guys. But all they're doing is dancing, and it's a shame. Jake Paul with a vicious left that just misses. Ooh, Mike's just balled up, man. That's all he is. He's like he's talking on the phone. They tell you as a boxer, talk on the phone. It's like you talk on the phone. So you keep that arm up, keep that hand up. It's like you're talking on the phone the whole time. And so you're you know what I mean? Like you're like this, like that. You know me. I'm a fighter, guys. I mean, shit's why you tune in. Um, but this is a lot of dancing, man. War chest, you called it, buddy. This is some bullshit. So anyway, nonetheless, so music gets me pumped up. It gets me fired up, and I know it does for a lot of you. But as someone who has played on stage, played in front of some pretty good sized crowds, not by no means did I ever fulfill my dreams. I would love for that to have happened. That may yet come. As a matter of fact, after the new year, I will hopefully, fingers crossed, what I've been told, be auditioning for a signed label artist that is on the same label as Jason Isbell. Maybe some of y'all know that name. A real good friend of mine plays bass for an artist named Alex Williams, and he has some great music. And I am hoping to be able to go play with them on the road. I will never be a studio musician, a studio drummer, but if I could go on the road and play for some good sized crowds, maybe one day play at CMA Fest here in Nashville in front of some good crowds, that would be the topper on my career probably as a drummer. Um, I'm not going to get into tonight so much, but I will say that it was a lot of fun and really enjoyed just being out, being around musicians, talking music, dressed up a little bit. I know I don't look like it now, but dressed up a little bit, put the duds on, put my shit kickers on, man. I got some pretty expensive cowboy boots I bought years ago. And it was fun to put all that stuff back on and just be out around people. I don't do that enough. And I would tell any one of you out there right now, just get around some people, right? Go out once in a while. Just to be out. Drink a beer. Order from a bartender. It's I don't do it enough, and I used to do it all the time. And it's truly amazing how things can flip flop in your life, and then you just don't realize it. So right now here we are in round 6 of 8. It's only 8 rounds, and it's 3 minutes around, I believe, maybe 2. So we're in round 6 of 8. Tyson is ducking. He's doing the shoulders, switch. Shaquille O'Neal is in the crowd. Not giving commentary at the moment. I mean, these guys are dancing. Look, nobody's getting knocked out. This is the Jake Paul. Okay, so here's the thing. The guy made a mint off of YouTube, and now he's making a mint off of everybody else for basically not just doing anything. I mean, doing shit. This fight's a wash, y'all. It's really a wash. War chest, it truly is a sparring match. 25 seconds left in the 6th round. Nobody's getting knocked out tonight. There's no way. And look, I give Mike Tyson all the credit for conditioning. As a 58-year-old man, probably a 58-year-old oppressed man in this country, given his story, being oppressed at every turn. For him to be in this position right now speaks volumes about America. But I will say, ding, ding, bell just rang, and they're both in their corners, and it looks like neither one of them has a bruise on them. So, yeah, look, easy payday for 2 guys that are both entrepreneurial. Good for them. Capitalism, baby. Make America great again. It always was. Anyway, point being, this fight is definitely kind of a. I mean, if you bought Netflix for this, I guess you're getting your money's worth at 14, 15 bucks, whatever. The crowd definitely does not look enthused. As a matter of fact, they're showing a shot of the crowd right now. Most people are very just in their seat, unless some activity, some action really happens in the next 2 rounds. It's 8 rounds at 2 minutes a round. That favors Tyson, at least body conditioning for a almost 60-year-old man. Right now, they have Jake Paul leading by decision. I think that's probably the way it's going to finish. Paul has landed 29% of his punches. 200 thrown by Jake Paul, 87 by Tyson. 59 landed by Paul, 16 by Tyson. So it's a 29 to 18% advantage for Jake Paul, and that's when you're a 27-year-old man compared to 58. There you go. All right. Yeah, it's. I mean, guys, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Like, I probably, honestly, could have gone out here to do this, what they're doing right now, for $20 million, even if I was expecting to get knocked the fuck out by Debo. 20 million bucks to go get knocked out. Come on, man. And this is a classic case of people building things up bigger than what they probably really are. We do that. We love to do that. It is what we do. Think about all that anticipation you guys had for the Dragonfly, right? Think of all that anticipation, right? What could it be? What's it going to look like when I put it together? How long is it going to be? Man, it's going to be crazy. The lights and all this. And then when you finally kind of get it together, yeah, I love it. I love it. You tell yourself that, right? I love it. I love it. It's what I wanted. It's what I wanted. And and then sometimes it doesn't live up to expectations. I'm not saying that necessarily about the Dragonfly, but I am saying about things in life, right? And we do that all the time. So many times in life we build up conversations in our head. What's going to happen when I go to work tomorrow? Are they going to chew me out, or are they going to say something? And then if they say this, I'm going to say that. If they say this, I'm going to say that. And then when you get to work, nobody says anything. And then so you've built up all this shit in your head, right? And then it doesn't even come into play. So it's kind of like this. Like right now, they've got the I don't even know what these guys use in the boxing world, but it's like the metal thing that they push down on the guy's head. I guess it's maybe to alleviate blood or move it around or swelling, something like that. Tyson took a couple good knocks. He looks old, man. I mean, he does. He looks old, but he's hanging in there. He's got 2 more minutes, and then this is going to be a decision winner for Jake Paul, unless Mike Tyson comes out right now and knocks this motherfucker out. And Requiem, Evangelion, yes, it's like when you buy a game that sucks ass, but you still play it because you spent too much money on it, and that's called, uh, oh my gosh, there is such a phrase for this. It's the, oh no, 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 no. The, if I was just sitting here spouting it off, it would come out naturally. But when I read that comment, all of a sudden now my brain is in lockdown. It's an expectations thing, right? Like you keep putting time into it because you're hoping that the expectations that you have will pay off, and it's the you just never get your money's worth, and that's kind of this thing right here with this Tyson fight. But yes, I bought many a video game that has done that, right? But yet I keep putting more time in it. I'm like, oh, it's going to get good. Oh, the story's going to get good. It's going to change. And then it never changes, right? And then you end up finishing the campaign or you finish the game and you're just like, well, that was that. Yes, thank you. Sunken cost fallacy. Hello, my son to the rescue. Which won't be the last time in his life, that's for sure. War Chest Full of Toy says everybody knew that if Tyson did perform in the first 3 rounds, it was over. And that's kind of what I was hoping, um, that Tyson would come out and just, hey, look, I've got 2 or 3 rounds at best to just knock this MFR out. Because think about what would happen if Tyson did that. If Tyson came out in the first couple rounds and he just laid this sumbitch on his ass, how crazy would the sports world be? Social media, everything, over these next several days. How crazy I mean, oh my God. But you know what? Fight's over. I will really quickly share that. That's it. They're hugging, they're kissing. It's over. And it was 8 2-minute rounds of a lot of nothing. And that's a real shame because I think ultimately at the end of the day, neither one of these guys lose, neither one of these guys win. We lose. And yes, Requiem Starfield is a classic example. The more time you put into Bethesda Starfield, the less and less you get out of it. And yet it's a type of game that you hope the more you put into it, the more you'll get out. Not true. I mean, to be quite honest with you, y'all, there really wasn't anything to narrate. There wasn't even anything to talk about for this fight. If I'd have been in here saying, and Tyson throws a right, and Tyson throws a left, and uppercut, and he's down on the floor, Jake Paul, you know, that'd be one thing. But there's nothing to talk about. It's such a bummer, man. Like boxing used to be so man, it used to be so important when I was young. And you knew who the heavyweight boxing champion of the world was. But no longer are those days. But just like horse racing, and baseball even, America moves on. And right now it's professional football, college football. Those are the kings. And so, before I get back to music, I'm going to let you guys know I'm going to have a Pop Blender Sports channel. That will be debuting probably in the next week. And I'm going to be on my feet for that one. So I bought a standing desk. I'm going to change my setup around a little bit. And hopefully be able to do some sports content. I know not all of y'all are sports fans, but I want to do some sports content. I am a hardcore Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I am a hardcore Alabama Crimson Tide fan, especially when it comes to football. And so it's something that I've always wanted to do and just talk about some film, talk about some players. And so I want to do that. So that's something coming up, especially for the new year and into next year that I want to do. So if any of y'all are sports fans, trust me, I could definitely wax about that. Yeah, Jake Paul's going to win this by decision. He landed more punches. He threw more punches. And that was pretty much it. And as War Chest says, he said, shitload of hype for a sparring match. Sad that did nothing for the sport of boxing. The only thing, War Chest, I can say for the sport of boxing that this has done is that Jake Paul, not that I care for the guy, has at least brought different eyeballs to the sport. And if you like the sport, you care about the sport, you want it to survive, you want it to thrive, then I know it's an outsider, I know it's somebody people don't take seriously, I get that. But at least it brings different eyeballs on the sport. And sometimes that's what you need, right? Like sometimes that's what you need. You need an outsider. Again, not to bring up the election, but even 8 years ago, right? Sometimes you need an outsider, a different set of eyeballs, a different set of people to come in and view something from a different lens. and say, hey, look, this is stagnant, right? Things aren't getting done or whatever. I'm sure many of you are the same age as I am, remember boxing back in the day. And when Don King was the main promoter, um, he had two fighters going against each other. Well, how is that good for boxing? Because Don King wins in the end. So he doesn't care who wins or loses. He's still getting paid. And on top of that, he's still representing. So, it was bad for boxing. Bob Arum was the other promoter, really the only other one at that time. And boxing really fell off the map because everybody thought it was fixed. When you control both fighters and you're going to win either way, then you don't have a stake in it. And so that's how people felt about boxing. And in the 90s and in the early 2000s, it just fell off the map. And Tyson really was that last great, you know, champ since Muhammad Ali, so to speak. Obviously, Mike Tyson's Punch Out on NES speaks volumes. All right, let's get into it. Some of y'all know, some of y'all don't know. I played drums for a really long time. I'm very passionate about music, but it ebbs and flows. It comes and goes. Um, Even when I stopped playing drums, when my son was born, and his mom, was coming to my gigs and stuff like that. When he was born, I really backed off, and I thought, okay, I need to get into restaurant management. Whatever the next phase is, right? Need to buy a house, need to start a family, need to, or whatever. Start a family, buy a house, whatever. And but that's an itch that's really hard to not scratch. And there's been many years in between that I have not scratched that itch. After I stopped playing drums and stopped singing with a couple bands, I had my own karaoke company and I did karaoke. And it was fun. It was fun to be on stage. It was fun to be on mic. It was fun to get on there and go, hey, you guys, that's Scott doing Lady Gaga. Put your hands together one more time for Scott. And in between, I'd have up a jam, playing to keep people interested. And I'd fade it back down. And and then, all right, y'all. He's been here 2 times already. Let's welcome to the stage. 3-star draw. Right? Like, it's fun. I enjoy that. I love it. And I love being around people. I love entertaining people. I love to entertain people. I love to see people happy. Um, and so that was my way of staying connected to music after I stopped playing. And so I did that for a while. And as any karaoke host would, I got burnt out. Got burnt out hearing the same songs, same shit, same bars, week in, week out. 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week, whatever. And so it happens. And as you get older, you realize you're not making a mark. You're not making a mark for yourself, whatever. So nights like this, when I go to hear people sing, when I actually go to hear really actually talented people, right? It's one thing to go hear a cover band. I'm not saying people aren't talented. But when you go hear a cover band and you're having fun because they're playing songs and all that stuff, the real when the rubber hits the road is when you go and you see people that are their own artists that write their own songs, perform their own songs, are picking the guitar parts. Right, this is their song. They fucking wrote this shit. That is when the rubber meets the road. And when I see people that are passionate, when I see people that are good at what they do, it affects me. I get emotional. And when I was watching tonight, participating, it's powerful, man. Like it's like going to church. And I'm not saying anybody, yeah, you go to church, whatever. What I am saying is, Sharlock, love you. Got your message, responded, check your Instagram. Next Friday, folks, we are going to do And my son will be here too. And I hope he maybe joins us on it, maybe his phone or something like that. Um, but we're gonna have a few people on. Let's do this next Friday. It's almost like a punk's pit, you know. Let's have a few people on. Let's just cut up, kick around some shit, talk about some toys, talk about some movies, talk about what we like, talk about a year-end retrospective, so to speak. But let's do that next Friday. 3 Star, I expect you to be there. War Chest, I expect you to be there. Sherlock, you will have the link for sure. I love you. You are awesome. Let's talk. Let's hang out. So next Friday, let's punt on this. Next Friday, I will not be going to another gig, so I apologize for being late once again. I hate wasting people's time. It's one of my pet peeves. But next Friday, let's do this. Let's hang out. Let's have a few of us get on. I've got room for 10. I pay $45 a month for some reason to StreamYards. So let's do this. So let's get 10 of us hanging out and shooting the shit. And Matthew, obviously, you are more than welcome to join as well if you're not moderating, although I don't know that I need it, at least right now. So next Friday, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get a few of us together and let's just talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. If you guys want to talk about toys, I'll do my best. If you want to talk about life, let's talk about life. If you want to talk about music, you want to talk about sports, let's do it. Whatever you guys want to talk about, it's an open forum next Friday at 9 p.m. on this channel. I'm going to send it out and we're going to have some fun. And we're just going to hang out like a punk's pit, so to speak. And by no means would I ever try to take that away. But it is fun to hang out with people. And everybody that's here that's just hanging out and listening to me ramble tonight, which you really are, man, I appreciate you guys. I really do. Like, you have no idea. And it's invigorating sometimes to go back and watch. And I hate watching myself because I'm such a nut job. But anyway, so I'll get that info out. I'll get the link to y'all. Anybody that's interested, please let me know on the Instagram if I'm a friend of yours on there. Let me know if you want to come hang out. I'm glad to have you. And we can do kind of a year-end retrospective. We can talk about whatever we want, what's happened, whatever we want to do. But yeah, music is so important to me, man. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I went and bought that standing desk today because I want to do this sports thing too, and I want to be on my feet. And I was sitting in the Walmart parking lot for like 12 minutes listening to a 15-minute version of The Rain song by Led Zeppelin. And I was bawling my fucking eyes out. Like seriously bawling my eyes out. Because sometimes there's in times in life, man, you just shit hits you. Sometimes you just remember stuff. Sometimes you get flashbacks. Sometimes you whatever. And it was one of those moments. And I was listening to Jimmy Page play the guitar. I'm listening to Robert Plant. His vocals were very good. Not the whole concert, but on that song, yes. John Paul Jones on bass guitar and John Bonham on drums, which is my hero. And man, like I just started bawling. I'm sitting there waiting on a traffic light to turn. I was just fucking crying my eyes out. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, God, if somebody pulls up next to me, they're gonna think I'm a freaking Fruit Loop. Like, what is wrong? He just broke up with his girlfriend. And but it because it hit me. It's like, man, I remember listening to this when I was like 14 years old, and then again at 16, and again at 18 and 19 and 20 and 22 and 25 and 28 and 32 and 37. And it's just so powerful. And so I'd encourage any of y'all, go back, man. Like, listen to Song Remains the Same off of Houses of the Holy. And you'll find every version of it. They usually do this on your classic rock radio, 104.9 The Rock. They'll play them back to back because that's the way they're meant to. And that's the way they did it in concert. So Song Remains the Same and the Rain song back to back. The Rain song, holy shit. The lyrics, just Unbelievable. Um, Unbelievable. And yeah, Matthew. Yeah, Zeppelin played at your wedding. First dance. What song? What song? Please tell me. What song? Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Hello. Duh. No quotations. I remember sitting in my girlfriend's car when I was 15 years old, and I put the cassette tape because she bought me the very first Led Zeppelin box set. Do you guys remember when the box sets were the shit? And she bought it for me for my birthday. She picked me up. I put the song Thank You in her cassette player. And I was like, just listen to this song. This is what I think of you. Listen to this song. I don't think it had the intended effect that I thought in my heart it was going to have. But I still have the box set box. I still have the booklet that came with it, full size booklet. I've since lost probably 3 out of 4 tapes. But that was such an inspirational box set for me. And that was when box sets were very new. And I know you guys, at the age you are, remember box sets, right? It was like that greatest hits times 20. And so when she bought me that for my birthday, I thought I was gonna be with this chick forever. And but but uh but the Rain song, Thank You, is such a wonderful song. It really truly is. Yeah, Matthew, that's great. I love that. I love hearing that. Um, yeah, I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan, and it's fun to go back and revisit this stuff sometimes. It's fun to go back because you sometimes you burn yourself out on it. I'm a huge Prince fan. I am a fucking Prince fanatic, but I burnt myself out after 8 straight years of like just every day, nonstop preaching to people. Uh, wearing the symbol around my neck, you know, singing it, going. But like I watched an entire, 3 hour concert today from 1988, and it's fucking amazing. The musicianship is amazing. That's what's missing. It's so much what's missing from music today is that the record labels have kind of robbed us, so to speak. Instead of promoting that musicianship, instead of putting it front and center, instead of you knowing who Eddie Van Halen is, you don't know who the fucking lead guitarist is for your favorite band now. Kids don't. I'm sure they don't, unless they play guitar. But like back in the day, man, you knew who the bass player was for a band. You knew who the rhythm guitar or the drummer, right? The lead guitarist. You don't know that anymore. And that's missing. It's such an important component for recognizability, for relatability, for people to see these people as heroes because they're just like you and me, except they're just really much more talented than you are. I mean, it's just the truth. But either way, though, it's so important, and I think we've lost that. Um, I mean, just growing up, man, grabbing Modern Drummer magazine. I would even pick up Guitar Player and stuff like that, and read it at Kroger when I was shopping for groceries or Publix or whatever you want to call it, and I would thumb through it. And you'd see the charts there for Eddie Van Halen, Unchained, or Hotel California, whatever it was. And I know you still can get that, but it's not. It's just not the same. Music seems much more disposable these days, right? But nonetheless, so I'm sitting there in traffic. I'm bawling my eyes out listening to Robert Plant talk about this is the mystery of the quotient. With every rise there is a fall, and and he sings about Lord of the Rings, right? Mordor. It's fucking awesome shit, man. Um, and then I flip over to Prince, and I'm like, uh, I guess you know me now. I don't like winter, but I seem to get a kick out of doing you cold. It's a hell of a line. But anyway, so yeah, man, like and then to top it off with going to see somebody that I respect, a friend, so to speak, I guess, who knows, acquaintance, friend, it's somebody I know. but somebody who's out there grinding every day, like grinding in the business, writing songs for a living, traveling, you know, performing. And and so to kind of top it off of that, it's just a really emotional music day for me. And and I don't know a lot of you, super well. Um, but I can't even begin to describe to you how much music for me has been such an important part of my life. It hasn't been as important in the last several years, but I'm working on changing that. So hopefully, audition for an artist, hopefully be able to go on the road here and there. Last year they went to Germany, Belgium. Um, they play all the time. It's great music. The artist's name is Alex Williams. The bass player is Gregory Dalton. Great band, great music, great music. Alex Williams, great. Leonard Skinner, Waylon Jennings, mesh those two things together, and this is kind of what you get with Alex Williams. It's really good stuff, and I appreciate good quality music. There's a lot of stuff I listen to, and after about 30 seconds, I'm like, yep, I'm good. Alex Williams, good stuff. Austin Plain, Plaine. Austin Plain, good stuff. And so yeah, just an inspiring day today, man. I know this is kind of all over the place for you guys. I'm so sorry about being late and everything. The Tyson fight was really a wash. I thought it would be more than it would be, but but nonetheless, here I am. You get what you get. So, thank you so much for hanging out with me. There's a couple things that I kind of wanted to go over, I guess, tonight, and not going to get too deep in the cups, folks. At least from the standpoint of pulling up articles and all that kind of stuff, man. It's every now and then oh, there it is. There's that HasLab Dragonfly Ripcord, Glenda and Crazy Legs unboxing. I tell you what, 3 star. Let me copy this link if I can and just post it. If YouTube will actually let me do that, it's kind of a weird thing, but I'm gonna post it here for any of y'all that are interested. Boom and boom. There you go. That's 3 star draws, unboxing, Ripcord, Glenda, Crazy Legs. Check that out when you get a chance. I know he appreciates it and always does a great job. So, but anyway, so there was a couple things I kind of wanted to somewhat, I guess, get into um, tonight, but man, after being around music, after listening to music all day, it's almost like, do I really want to? Do I really want to get into it? So I don't know if you guys know how many of you are gamers, but I will tell you that this may very well be kind of the end of the console wars. The PlayStation 5 Pro been released. It's like $800, but I think the game changer right now for video games is that Microsoft decided not to become so invested in the Xbox versus PlayStation versus Switch thing, and has decided to really just it's about the streaming of video games. Televisions that have the capability to stream your favorite games. NVIDIA, if you have an NVIDIA GeForce video card in your PC like I do, you can download GeForce Now, and you can have access to a computer that has a 4090 video card, latest video card, and you can stream those games. You can play those games with a good internet connection as if you had a $5,000 PC. And you can do that right now for about $15 a month. So if you're a PC gamer, you don't even have to have a beefy PC. I upgraded mine, I upgraded my son's. You don't even need that anymore because the technology is so good. You can sign up and you can log in and have access to the cutting edge technology to play video games, even if you don't have that hardware. And I think that's amazing. And I think that's the next step because consoles, for most of us in our lifetimes, have been the thing, right? Right? We had Ataris. I had a 2600. I had a 5200. We had a ColecoVision. Didn't play the shit out of it at all. Then I got an NES, right? And I got a Sega Genesis. Now, after that, I got a Sega CD, Sega 32X. I did not have a Super Nintendo, did not have an N64, did not have a GameCube, did not have, I got older, got out of that. But my point being is that consoles have been a part of our lives. They're a part of 40 years now, right? Like literally 40 years or more, 45 years, 49 years in my case. But now technology has made it so that you can play the latest and greatest cutting edge games by downloading something on your TV. And all you need is one of these. That's it. Shane from Same Time Toys. Brother, I have You and Legend series video queued up on YouTube as we speak. Promise you that. I do. It is queued up. I clicked on it and I paused it right before I went live. And I will be watching that, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And as Matthew says, great interview with Legend series. Yeah, Shane, yeah, you cracked me up, bruh. That's all I'm gonna say. And I can't wait to watch that. Can't wait to watch it. I'm gonna watch it after I get done. I promise you. I have not listened to it yet. That's listen, Matthew. Some of us have to work, buddy. I mean, come on. I know you go in and you crack a couple necks and you punch a couple buttocks, right, at work. Now some of us, we got to sling drinks all night long. You know what I mean? We got to talk to people all day. Of course I kid. What you do is far more important than what I do. But no, I have not. It's when I pulled it up earlier today, it actually said streamed 11 hours ago. So I'm 11 hours late to the party. My apologies. Same time. But I promise you, when I get done tonight, I am gonna be watching it as soon as I get done. And yes, and yeah, Matthew, I know you don't crack necks, but I know you do work a lot, buddy. Uh, and listen, Requiem. Yes, you do crack jokes. You are funny, and hopefully one day people are gonna see that. I hope they do. I'd love to have you on one day, because I think we have a lot to talk about. Um, um, I don't even know how to pronounce Bochi Rock. Bochi Rock. Bachi Rock. It's a manga. It's a anime. My son turned me on to, and it's fascinating. Fascinating show. If you're into anime, check it out. Bocchi Rock. Bochi Rock. Anyway, check that out if you get a chance. My son has great ideas. When he tells me something anyway, he means it, right? He doesn't always, but when he does, he does. Ronnie Trick Shot in the house. Good to see Pop ain't crashing like Netflix. Yeah, man, Netflix was kind of having some weird shit with me trying to sign in, man. I tried it like 4 times before it let me, and then it backed my stream up because I was live, and then it backed my stream up. So I was even late to the party trying to watch the fight. So that shit was weird. You didn't miss nothing. Very uneventful. $20 million payday for Mike Tyson, 30 or 40 for Jake Paul, and nothing happened. So, man, must be a life, right? Maybe one of us will get to that point one day. I can tell you if I got to that point, I'd probably get together a crew and I'd probably say, "Hey guys, let's get it on." Right? Like let's get it on. Let's go buy every fucking toy. Let's go get, you know what I mean? Like let's go get every guitar, drum set, toy, whatever. I mean that would be freaking awesome. How much fun would that be? And for people that do get big like that, you're Mr. Beast and whatever, right? You're Jake Pauls, Logan Pauls, whatever. How much fun must that be for their buddies? Um, just to be along for the ride, right? Like that must be a blast. Unless obviously they're contractually obligated to do a bunch of bullshit. And they may very well be. I don't know. But nonetheless, Bobby Wold is here too. He says, "Hey, 3-star draw," and he also says, "I want a video game. I'm really interested right now. Is the Wrath of Cobra? They've been advertising. Yes, and it is on console now. Originally, it was going to be on Steam. I played the demo. It is fun. I can see where the repetition of that. It is a Double Dragon esque or a Streets of Rage, right? But you got some specials, you got some missiles, you can do some shit, right? So that adds some mix to it, right? And so that's fun. Look, it's GI Joe, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Love GI Joe. Love the classifieds. And that's really about the toys I collect. But it's just because that's where my heart is, right? And so I love it, love it, love it, love it. Love talking about it every other Wednesday. And Sharlock says I'm contractually obligated to say I enjoyed that fight. Yeah, I hear you, buddy. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah, Ronnie, a lot of people do get famous. I did watch a video today. There is a YouTuber who's been at it for a while. Um, that is kind of more of an expose kind of channel that I have followed for quite some time. Probably about, trying to think, like 6 years, maybe. And it's and the worst part of it is I'm about to tell you guys, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what the hell channel was that? I've been subbed to this guy for probably since like 2017, and it's called Upper Echelon. It was Upper Echelon Gaming, but Upper Echelon is a channel, and this guy does amazing work. And he put out a video. No, it's not Mike Zero, by the way. Um, Upper Echelon, look it up. He is really good. And he dug into his most recent video about Twitter or X and how people have been able to grift to make money by stealing content and posting it on there as their own by cropping the video and other ways. Ian Miles Chong is one of the worst offenders. He has 3 different companies he's associated with, and he pretends like he's not associated with any of them, and yet he's associated with them. And so he might post a post, and then 5 minutes later, it goes up on this other post somehow. But he's been able to make hundreds of $30,000 a month. How many of you guys would like to make $30,000 a month? I mean, seriously. So this is kind of that, you know. I mean, look, let's not kid ourselves, man. It is real. And if you can sleep at night, if you feel comfortable enough by doing it, yes, you can make a lot of money. Now, you have to dedicate all your time to it or hire people to do it for you. But you can do it. If you want to get on TikTok or you want to get on X and you want to game the system, so to speak, you can game the system. You have to be dedicated like anything, but you can game the system and you can make a lot of money at it if you want to lower yourself to those standards. Most of us don't want to do that, nor most of us have the energy, right? We don't have the energy. We don't have the time. We have families. We have jobs. We have other obligations. We don't have the time to do that shit. But if you do, you can make a lot of money doing it. But it takes a lot of effort. if you're willing to give that effort. Um, and War Chest says, look, I can show you how to make that. And I actually believe that because the conversations I've had with you. I also believe that there are smarter ways, right? Work smarter and not harder. And I think those are the things that you know. I do believe that. And if I was a smart person, I would take you up on that offer and actually dedicate myself. Um, that's where the ADHD part of me kicks in, and it's like, God, what the fuck did I have for breakfast? So yeah, those are conversations that definitely need to be had. But yes, there are people who learn that system, and they are able to grift it. There are people that buy subs on YouTube. We know this. There are people that buy subs on every platform. It's what you do with that is what matters. And I think all of you would agree with me there, right? Like all of you would agree with me. It's not you can get, I mean, dude, I have like 135 subs. And I think, and I mean, I don't even care. I don't even show you guys. I don't, um, I got nothing to hide here. I don't do enough for my channel. Like, I don't do enough for my channel. Um, I should do far more for my channel than I do. Um, so, here's YouTube Studio. I'll show you right here. I don't care. 13 subs in the last 28 days. I got some of those from my video on Nemesis Immortal. Not many. Punk with Toys put out a little blast, said, hey, check this guy out. He obviously got him early, and just boost his channel. And I really appreciated that. That was very nice. He did not have to do that by any means. And as not a toy reviewer in that sense, he should not have done that. But he did, and I appreciate it. So 13 subs in the last 28 days. So I can tell you, like, I have not boosted my views. I've not spent the money on Facebook. I have not done that at all. And I'm not saying that that's bad and good, right? I'm not saying that's bad or good, but organically, like Eric Thurman says, and I love you, Eric. I'm at 128 or something. He said he also said that he's trying to grow organically. That's right. Right. And at the same time says, if you at first you don't succeed, keep on sucking until you do succeed. But that's what it is, right? Like that's life. That's you put the practice in. I can't, I'm telling you right now, sit down on a set of drums. I'm going to rip that shit up. But I didn't get to that point by just haphazardly half-assing it. I got to that point because I kept working on it, crafting it, refining it, doing it, loving it, passionately at it. And at the same time, I enjoy YouTube and I love to stream and I love to talk. And I'm sure you guys obviously know that. But I'm also not, my mindset's not, I'm going to rule the world, like, or something like that. It's like, I like to get on here and have some fun. I like to communicate with other people. And if anybody likes to listen to it, great. But yes, there are ways to game the system, but I just don't want to do that. Right. And as Ronnie Trickshot says, it's like, look, I'm just on here to show my stuff, chat with people who are interested like I am. Subs are overrated, friends are for life. And that's true, right? Like, it's, whatever you want to put into it is what you're going to get out of it. But at the same time, yes, I agree with you, Ronnie. Like it's, some of the connections you make, some of the people that you communicate with is far more important than just having the number of subs go up, right? Because the number of subs can go up, but that doesn't really mean anything. Like ultimately, yes, if you're trying to get monetized, well, then you can have all the subs in the world, but if you don't have enough watch hours, it doesn't fucking matter. So, but to me, I just, man, I used to have a lot more energy than I do now. It's natural. But man, I love to talk. And as Punk has said in the past, look, you have strong opinions, right? Like, yes, I do. I do. And sometimes I've gone off on those opinions. But also too, I just love to talk. And I love to see people. I love to be stimulated. Stimulated. The chat, stimulation. Just looking constant. It's like when I'm driving, I'm looking at my rear view, I'm looking at my side mirrors, I'm constantly scanning, right? I can't help it. I don't put blinders on. It's not part of my job. And so I love the interactivity. I love looking at the chat as it scrolls up. I love to share screens. I love to, and so that's what you do in a live stream. When you make a regular video, you're not doing all that stuff. And that's where my problem is. So just trying to make YouTube content. And as Three Star, Draw said that's why you need to do a Dragonfly and Road Pig review tomorrow. And you're absolutely 100% correct. I do. Right? Like I do. Just for the shit of it. But sometimes for me, I'm just like, yeah, I do. But like then I'm like, yeah, nah, piece of shit. like, but maybe some people do, and you got to take that chance, right? And so yes, Three Star, you are 100% correct. I do need to do those reviews just for fun, just to get them out, just to have stuff for people to watch, man. Right? It really is. But and same time, right? 2,000 more watch hours. I feel you, baby. I don't know, somewhere you see my analytics right here. I mean, you see them. I've got 274 watch hours. I have 1.3K views. That's the last 28 days, right? Average duration on the evening blend was 30 minutes. That's a great hold time. That's a great hold time for a live stream. When you don't have, some of the live streams I watch have 16,000 people, watching them, right? You send a super chat, they're not going to read it till 4 days later when they do a super chat catch up, but like, to hold people's attention for 30 minutes on a stream with Matthew, talking about Hollywood that a lot of people don't give a shit about these days, man, like I appreciate that. I really do. And even though it has 55 views, no, it's not a ton of views. I enjoy doing the show with him. It's not a ton of views on that. And it should be better. And that's my fault. It's not higher because I need to do more to make that number go up. But that's a testament to y'all showing up and watching that stream or participating in that stream for 30 minutes at a time. That's a testament to you guys that are here right now. Listen to me fucking ramble on. And so for those of you that do videos, do live streams, you do understand what I'm saying, right? Like I appreciate it. Y'all have no idea how much more fun it is to be able to do this and have interactivity. And as I've told people many times at my job, I've told my mom this. Look, man, you might have 30 people tuning into your live stream. But can you imagine what that would be like if you don't do this already? And some of you may in your job. Standing up in front of a group of people and talking for 2 to 3 hours straight and having 30 people sitting at tables in front of you in one room, that's a lot of people. Like that's a lot of people. And I think people, they get lost on that because the internet's just a bunch of numbers. It's just it's infinite out there. But to have 20 to 30 people that are tuning in to watch you talk for 20 or 30 minutes or longer, that's a large number of people. And if you did it in person, it's quite impressive, really. Especially when you're not the boss of those people. They don't have to show up because you make them show up for a mandatory meeting. So that's awesome, right? That's awesome. I love it. And so, I'm going to keep doing it. I mean, what the hell? Bobby Old says I have 14 subscribers. I haven't done a thing to start a channel. Exactly. Right. There's still people that they're going to jump in, Bobby. Right. And then they see you in the chats and they say, hey, maybe one day when he starts making content, I'll be first in line. Right. That's what it is to me. Let's see here. And is this Matthew? Transformers 1 dropped on Paramount Plus. Well, guess what? After I watch Legend series and Same Time Toys, maybe I'll watch Transformers 1. I didn't see it, but I need to. I heard it's good. Hurts good. Um, let's see here. Sharlock says, I thought about live streaming my Dragonfly unboxing, but at the same time, do I want to YouTube? Yeah, and that's a good question. It's a journey. It's an interesting journey, and it is fun. It is fun at times. Uh, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, and I'll just be straight up honest with you. For the past 3 weeks or so, like I've been depressed, been in a funk. Um, Maybe it's the time change. I don't know, but that's just the truth of the matter. Um, the older I get, this time of year, maybe it's happened more often than it used to. But yeah, I've been in a funk for about 3.5 weeks, and there's been times, in full disclosure, that on a Tuesday night I was not feeling it until I turned the camera on and I see Matthew on the other side, and then that melts away. And then after that, I may go back to, right? I may go back to how I was feeling before. But yeah, there's been a few. I hope it doesn't show. I don't want it to show, but I will say that that's just full disclosure, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. I am an open fucking book. I am. I will be straight up. I will tell people you may not want to hear it. I don't give a shit. I'm an open book. When I went on Thursday with a friend, I probably disclosed more information than I should have. But I'm an open book and I don't care. I really don't. Not now. Look, I wear it on my sleeve. Um, and I've been in a funk for like 3 weeks or more. Sometimes life is like that. Um, but but then there's days like today where I get super inspired and remember how important music has been in my life and how much I mean, it sounds so corny, man. Like some of these songs, I mean, you guys, I can't even explain to you. I mean, I fight, live and die by these lyrics. Some of these songs, man. These guitar solos, drum parts, like bass guitar lines. Like I'm not kidding. It's like that. Like I can hear something and it will bring me to tears because it's so damn good. And today was one of those days. And so it's reinvigorating. It's fun. I want to do this sports channel. I don't know how many of you are into sports, but I will tell you that like I love football. I love football. American football. Aussie football's fun as shit too, actually. And I grew up watching that shit on ESPN late nights. But and that's some rough stuff too. No pads, no helmets. But like, yeah, I want to do the sports channel as an offshoot. Have some fun with it. Talk about some football. But I really, like I just sometimes you need that kick in the pants, right? You need that kick in the ass, and maybe today was that for me. I know I've been slacking lately and getting videos out. Obviously doing the live streams, but anyway, so no pity party, but I'm sure y'all understand. Some it just hits you. It's ebbs and flows, right? Biorhythms. It's life, man. You're human beings, and when you're on YouTube, even and just having fun with it, just as a hobby, like I do, not getting paid and whatever. Fuck that. Um, it's still some days are better than others. That's life. But y'all, especially in the chat and just showing up, and here I go on like an hour late. People still show up, come in and hang out, dude. That's impressive. That is exciting for me. That's fun for me to know people still show up. You know, You just don't know how much that means. It really does. But anyway, um, so let's go through a little bit of this, right? Let's do a little bit of chat here. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Same time toys says, "Hey, whoa, hang on, we got a newbie in here rolling in, son of a crayon slayer." Um, Love it, dude. Same time toy says, Pop, you're not the only one. Between burnout and lack of energy, I'm past it sometimes. I get it, man. Right? I mean, if this was 20 years ago, can you imagine, guys? Can you imagine having all this shit when you were like 26, full of piss and vinegar? Right? Like we were the in between. We're the in between crowd. We're the Commodore 64 and the early cell phone. Right? That was our age group. That's our demographic. We're the in between technology kids. Um, I can't even imagine. I don't even know what I would do with myself with all that stimulation. I really don't. The kids have now, and so like as a young man, liking to talk and like music and all, like I probably would have had a million ideas and I would just be bouncing them off of everybody. Hey, you want to do this? Let's do this. You know, and like the older you get, you don't have that energy, but you still have ideas, right? But then you have responsibilities and you have a job and whatever, and it's like, oh well, maybe I'll get to it. And um, man, I can't even imagine what it would be like to have what I have now, which is by no means anything. But to have what I have now at that age would have been, it might have been transformative, right? And you see that in young people now. Those are the entrepreneurs. Those are the YouTubers. Those are the people that are making headways on social media and using that, taking advantage of that, grifting on that, unfortunately for some. Um, Charlotte says, yeah, I feel you, brother, this time of year especially. It's very easy to get bogged down. Unfortunately, we've got some good people around us to prop us up, and that's 100%, Charlotte. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Let's go. 3-star draw says, yep. And nights when you're tired, not really wanting to do it. Once you start talking to your friends and co-host, if you have one, it disappears. 100%. It does. It goes away. Tuesday nights with Matthew, it goes away. Every other Wednesday with you, 3-star, it goes away. That's all it takes. I ain't gonna lie to you though. This past Wednesday, I was raring to go. I just forgot to put my hat, my sunglasses on when we started. But I was raring to go, man. Raring to talk about the Dragonfly. For those of you that have got it in, Matthew, did you get yours in yet? Your shipping label was created, Matthew. Did you get it yet? And yes, same time, I would expect nothing less than it to be $4.20 for you. Um, and I love it. Charlotte says, if anybody's looking for a co-host, my rates are wildly unreasonable. Yeah, but let's have some fun next Friday. Let's have a few people on. Right? There he is, the one and only, ladies and gentlemen. I love this guy. I love this guy. He I had not even said a word or nothing. And what does he do? What does he do? He boom, right in. Love it, baby. What's the word, man? Tell me what's good on your end, buddy.
Man, I just gotta tell you, it's the time of year for the funk,
Isn't
and
it?
and it's everywhere. And we have to reach out to one another. We have to talk to one another. We have to tell each other how we're feeling about this shit.
Yeah.
And I know it's tough for some people, but it's real. And the
Yeah.
only way to get through it is to talk about it, to reach out to somebody, to hug somebody, to love on somebody, whatever it happens to be. I mean, I may be getting sentimental or whatever,
That's all
but
right.
but I gotta say, this is the time of year where it really affects people. I see it all the time, and I see it in people who are older or whatever, or infirmed or whatever. That there's more people that pass away in the next 3 months than any other time of year at all. So it's a psychological effect. It affects us physically, and so we have to reach out, and we have to touch base with people, and we have to interact with people to know that there's other stuff out there.
It, it, it
There's stuff to cling on to. There's stuff to hope for. There's people that love you. So
Yeah, yeah, it's crucial, man. It's weird, and I mentioned it earlier. It's like the older I get, maybe the more it's affected me. Right? I said the heat, the cold, whatever. That's natural. But yeah, like and two, look, when you get around holidays,
yep,
right? It happens, right? Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like that. Loved ones, maybe people that have passed, right? There's a lot of things there. Um, but yeah, it is really this time of year. And I know for me, where I'm at, we go through that time change. We have that time change. And it's so just like it throws you in this funk. And I've noticed it more and more just the last few years.
yep,
And no matter how much I like to talk and like whatever. It's like, man, sometimes it's like, holy crap, man. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I am just not feeling it. But
yep,
you're right. You know, being able and I think for people that are in this chat right now are I would say most all are collectors, right? They're toy people through and through. They're collectors. And the cool thing that I've learned and just watched and been a part of is like so many people are all in, right? Even though you might have your differences as far as what you like and the things that you think are good or bad or QC issues, whatever. Um, we're everybody's all in, right? We all know each other. You all see each other. You see them in the chat. You see them, and so you're right, man. Like it sometimes it's great to just lean on people. You may
yep,
not be best friends, but it doesn't mean and just looking through this chat is me talking about it and I can see it. People are like, hey, yeah, I get it, man. Like not feeling it. Hey, yeah, I get it, man. This time change. And so you're so right, Matthew. Like just there's nothing wrong with grown men leaning on each other in times of need,
yep,
right? That's not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of strength because
yep,
other people can bring you up and strengthen you up and bring you back around. That's crucial.
yep.
I agree 100%, man. Yeah, yeah. I'm so glad you jumped in to say that as well. Yeah, it really is. It's very true, and there's nothing weak about that. It's very
Nope.
strengthening.
I mean, I see it all the time in what I do, and the just the number of people in the past few weeks that I know that have passed, and none of them are self deletions or anything, but
Yeah,
I have known people in the past that have done that around this time. It's always this time, and the one of the reasons. Okay, so you can go into the physiology of it all, but there is truth to the full moon. There is truth to the shortening of days, of daylight hours, and how that affects your brain, and how the full moon affects the water pulling your body because we're bags of mostly water, and how weather changes affects your joints and all that stuff. There's a scientific rationale behind all of it, and it comes down to brain chemistry, and our brain chemistry is altered when we don't have daylight or less daylight, and so that plays into a lot of these things. Plus, on top of it, you have the happiest time of year, all these seasonal events, but
right.
all of these other things are complicating that. And honestly, I think that's why we celebrate Christmas when we do, because we all know that if you celebrate the Christianity, that Christ was not born at this time of year.
Right.
But we celebrate his birth this time of year because it's a celebration. 12th night, the solstice. All these things are massive celebrations in different aspects of culture across the globe, because humanity understands that we have to have that sense of community, that sense of joining, that sense of being together to get us through the dark times, the times that we don't feel are right. And I know people have different thoughts on the election and everything else, but that's the same thing. Focus on what you can control. Don't focus on what you cannot control.
Right.
You have to focus on you, your immediate people around you, and your response to the things that are happening. and you can choose to make a positive or a negative solution to it.
Yeah.
There's no, go ahead.
No, no, I was gonna say no. That's so true, and at the same time, I don't think that it's a. I don't think that it's necessarily for some people or most people that it's a they think about that. It's just you react,
Yep.
right? And it's
Yep.
natural. And when you
Yep.
get that energy back, you give that energy back.
Yep.
You know, it's so true. And I'm not gonna lie. I will tell you, just at work, just in general, just going to the store, just casual conversation. I'll be 100% honest with every one of you in the last several days,
Mm-hmm.
I have felt a positive energy release from people. I'm not lying, and it doesn't mean that whomever you may have voted for or whatever, but like it's palpable. It is
Mm-hmm.
palpable. I have felt it. I felt it at work. I can see it out of people. There is a positiveness about just moving forward, about being excited. Now, again, like I
It is the
said,
great exhalation.
yeah, it really is, and I'm not going to sit here and beat this drum, but I will tell you that yes, it is palpable. I have felt it. I have talked about it with people. I can see it in their eyes, in their mannerisms, in the way they speak. Um, it really is, and I love that. I really do love that. And not to get off on that topic, but yes, what kind of relate exactly what you're saying is yes. Regardless, it is real,
Yep.
and and I think needed. I think needed for a lot of people right
Yep.
now. And to get back to kind of what we're talking about, yeah, man. Like sometimes, man, you just I'm not one of these people that's like, ah, you need a life coach that's just positive, affirmation every day. You know,
Yeah.
for athletes, for people that are in high pressure situations, I understand that. But everyday people, we have our ups and downs, but it is really nice to have people that you can lean on, people you can read what they're saying, and say, "Hey, I feel it too, man. I get it. I'm with you. Let's go. Right? Let's fucking get it together. Let's go."
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. There's a parable from a Usagi Yojimbo comic book that I love to the end of time, and it has to do with the parable of the student. And the student comes to the master and is just frustrated because he's not doing the things that he thinks he should be doing. He's waxing on, waxing off. He's not actually training. That kind of thing. And the instructor says, bring me these ingredients, and then we'll make dinner and we'll discuss it. And as he throws things into the pot, the instructor says, and he's talking about them, and basically it's like a vegetable, an egg, and some tea leaves, right, is essentially what he asks him to bring. And he says, you can imagine this pot of boiling water is the stress of life. Okay. And you can choose to be the vegetable. The vegetable breaks down and is firm when it enters, but is soggy and limp and just mush by the end of its time in the boiling water. Right. So you can choose to be that. That's your choice. You can choose to be the egg, which is hard on the outside, soft on the inside, and then it's thrown into the water. And what happens? It hardens on the inside to match the outside. So it becomes hard. Okay. Or you can choose to be like the leaves that are thrown into the pot. And the leaves change the water into something else. So these dried up leaves, they choose to affect and change everything around it to become tea, to become something better than what it was before. So your response to any of the stresses that are put on you in life, the hot boiling water, is to harden your heart, to become limp and wash away, or to affect change in everything around you.
I love that. That's great. That's great. And And something so simple like, I know it's easy to hear that. I know a lot of people hear that, and it's, from whomever it may be. And usually it's from a political or from a entertainment or from a social media, but right, you read those things. It's maybe it's on a poster at your dentist office, or whatever. Um, but it is true, right? Like, and I think for me, and this is just kind of how I'm feeling about it, I guess, is by me, going doing live streams, having conversations, talking about the stuff we talk about, or just coming on a Friday night and unloading, which I'll do. I did it last week. But for me, like that's my way of navigating that, I guess, so to speak, and not telling people how to feel, but maybe just providing something for somebody else. And maybe that just me doing that helps somebody else that day.
Yep.
Right. And by no means am I ignorant enough to think that I'm on some kind of platform, at all. But it's good to talk about. And I think sometimes people that don't feel comfortable being able to do that will at least watch or listen to people, and that helps them. That helps
Yep.
them get through it.
Yep.
And I know it's happened for me. And so at the same time, on the other end of it, I love doing it myself. And whether that's entertaining, whether it's informational, whether somebody doesn't like what I have to say and that gets them fired up, that's good too. Like, I'm okay with that. It's passion. I love passion. I
Yep.
love seeing passion. I love people being passionate about things. I also love seeing people, use common sense with that as well, though. And so, but yeah, man, no, you're so right. And just kind of scrolling through here, and I see some people that are really posting some good stuff, some funny stuff too. And at the same time, Ronnie Trickshot says, "Look, I'm up for a sports channel. Happy to be your Aussie Rules special correspondent." You know what? That may, Ronnie, force me to actually pull up some Aussie Rules stuff and maybe throw to you and give me like 2 good minutes on the most recent Aussie uh, football news. You know what I mean? Here, give me 2 minutes, Ronnie. Fire it at me, baby. I'm all about it. Love it. And again, next Friday we're gonna have a free for all. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have all of us just get together right here on this channel. And my son will be here as well. I would hope that maybe he would want to participate. It would have to be on his phone, maybe, or if we bring the PC over here and hook it up somehow. But I have extra cameras, extra mics. And so maybe we can do that. But next Friday, for those of you who would like to do that, you are more than welcome. Please contact me if you'd like the link. I will post it, and I've got enough room for 10 people. And I just want to kind of just talk about whatever, man, whatever. Doesn't have to be about toys. Doesn't have to be about any specific subject. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about, and I think that'd be fun. It's been a while since I've done that, and everybody that's here now is people that I like to interact with for sure. Let's see here, real
I
quick.
I just I didn't want to take over the stream or anything. I just wanted to jump in and say that
No,
I love all you guys, and you can contact me about whatever you want, and I will chat with you, have conversations with you. I you know I don't want anybody to do anything off kilter without talking to somebody first, and having conversations with people that can relate. Um, I just I felt the need to come on and say a couple things, but I'll let you get back
hey,
to it.
I'm glad you did, and you know that obviously anytime you're more than welcome to just pop yourself right in here. You have the access, and I'm a okay with that, brother. So yeah, whatever you want to do, I'm good. There's no takeover by any means. I didn't even think of that until you said it, and I don't even worry about it. But love you, man. I appreciate it. I'm so glad that you felt compelled to jump in, for sure. And thank you so much. And of course, you and I will be on Tuesday night, right back at it again. And I got your message, and I'm good with all of that.
All right,
So,
man. All right. Well, I'll see you guys in the chat.
all right, brother. Thank you, Matthew. All right, let's give Matthew the old what do we got for him? I need to get the cheering. I need to get the crowd noise, right? Let's give Matthew one of these. I love it, baby. All right, let me go through some of this chat real quick. You guys have been very, 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 very active, actually, and so let's see here. What did that one? Ronnie said, in response to the views, 55 views is good. How often do 55 blokes sit down and pay attention to you all at once in real life? 55 is huge. And that was my point. Like, I agree with you. That really is. And yes, those are small numbers, I guess, in the grand scheme of the YouTube thing. But yeah, look, stand up, talk for 2 or 3 hours in front of a group of 55 people or 20 people at the same time. That's a lot of people to talk to. It just is. That's realistic, man. And so yeah, it is real. Let's see here. What else do we have? Ronnie also says the struggle is real, man. Getting up, making a living, looking after your loved ones. It's tiring. It's a grind. It is a grind. It's what you do because that's what you're supposed to do, right? But it is what you do. But at the same time, it doesn't mean you can't feel it sometimes. I mean, it is. It's life. It's reality. And this time of year, for at least now, I don't know what it's like in other parts of the world. All right, so maybe I can be educated. As far as is there a daylight savings time? Is there a hour before, an hour behind? Do those things happen? I do not know. I've never looked it up. But I know here in America, at least in certain parts of the country, there are places that don't recognize it. But, we do move our clock ahead or we move it behind at different points of the year. And those things it's kind of weird, man. I mean, you go most of the year or part of the year, we're all creatures of habit. And then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, I've got an extra hour of daylight or I have less of hour of daylight. Those things throw you off, and it is just real. It is for me. Let's see. 3-star girl says we've got to watch you on Thursday with a friend to see if we really like you first, Charlotte. Yeah, that's true. Gotta know if we really like this guy. I don't know. I met him at Joe Fest. He seemed okay. I will tell you, and Charlotte, I got to tell you, man. You in action, and I know you guys. I mean, just I didn't. But I would come down from the room and y'all would be there either eating your pizza or waiting on food or at the bar at the hotel. And I swear to you folks, every time I walked out and was walking through, I would hear one or two people holler at me and it was you guys. Pop Blender. And it was Ed and Charlotte like hollering at me, sitting down, they're sitting over here in the chairs, or they're at a little table or couch or something, and they would holler at me like every time walking through, and it was so funny. It was like, and I really did not really know them. I really did not. But it was so cool because I was like, holy shit. Like, yeah, it's awesome. Of course. And then got to talk quite a bit at Joe Fest, and it was really great. And can't wait till the next one. That's for sure. If that's the way we're going to meet in person, I am all about it. Same Time Toys says, I'm waiting for Ryan to drop some videos, teach me some cricket. Love it, baby. Ronnie, have you ever thought about that? You ever thought about doing one of those like outdoor, just kind of going through the rules, right? Or a brief, Aussie rules kind of view, something like that. I think that would be fantastic, man. I think that's content that Americans love to watch. We love to hear foreigners talk. We love to hear people with different accents than our own, even within our states, right? Southern, Northern, Midwest, or Midwest has no accent. West, whatever. We love listening to people from Australia, the UK, especially those two. Those YouTubers do great, great things. And we love to hear those accents. I know I do. They keep me engaged for sure. Let's see here. What else do we have? I got a lot to catch up on. I apologize, y'all, but I appreciate what Matthew had to say, and I'm glad he jumped in here. And he does have a blank check to jump in at any time. He's a moderator. which he does much more moderating for a Punk with Toys as well. He should, as a Punk with Toys channel is much larger. But Matthew has also done some moderation for some very large pop culture YouTube channels, as I know. One of them I reached out to recently. Let's see here. Sometimes, as Charlotte says, just hearing other people talk about it is enough, and I agree. I really do. I think it really is important to hear other people. Man, we're all the same. Like we are, right? We may look different. We might be from different parts of the country, might be different parts of the world, but we're all the same. We all go through the same things. And that's crucial, right? And again, I think no matter what political party, no matter what the things you believe in, bottom line is at the end of the day, you're a human being. And you go through the same shit. We all go through the same shit. Whether that's relationship, whether that's kids, whether that's with your collecting, whether that's with video games, whether that's with the movies you watch, whether that's your work, whatever it is, we all go through the same shit. And I really do. I think it's important. And maybe that's just kind of what I felt today. I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna lay it out and tell you guys kind of what I'm what I'm about and what I'm feeling. And 3-star draw, however, says the seasonal stuff doesn't bother me. The next 7 weeks do, and I can understand why from a personal level. I understand why the next 7 weeks do affect you. Of course I do. Same time Toy says self-deletion is huge this time of year, and the rates are already higher than they should be. Commenting on some of Matthew's comments. Yeah, it is. And in young men, especially, and I will tell you in this country, young men have been devalued in such a way that they do not feel the love. They do not feel purposeful. They've been told that they are everything that's wrong with this country. I mean, these are just things that are true. These are unequivocally true things that have been said and been propped up over the last few years that has been propagated, and young men do not need to be told, even because they were born from ancestors or people or whomever or whatever it is, that they are the problem. They're the reason why, that they're toxic, right? I mean, my son is not a toxic masculine, problem. It's just not true. But yet I'm sure there's someone out there that would say that to his face that doesn't know him. That's where we're at, and hopefully we're getting out of that. And Ryan Trick Shot, baby, hey man, he's all in. He's balls deep. You better get on in there, brother. Get on in there. Holy moly, let's go. Sharlock says, I've been through the shit on both sides of the fence. If anybody needs to talk, hit me up. Phone call, chat, video, whatever. I got you, and that is appreciated. Very much so. And that can be the hardest thing, right? For some people, that can be the hardest thing. Just the first phone call, the first chat, the first text message, right? Sometimes that's all it takes. And then sometimes once you do that, it's it's very natural. I can tell you with War Chest Full of Toys, that's, for me, it was like, that first conversation was like somebody that I've been talking to for 10 years or something. Like that's how it was for me. And some of those conversations were very late at night, probably for both of us. But that's how it was for me. And so yeah, man. Same time Toy says, you'd be surprised how many people get a hold of me. It shocked me. Hey man, what does that tell you? Same time. What does that tell you, Shane? Like that we would be surprised how many people get a hold of you. What does that tell you? That's value. That's value, brother. That's what that is. That's value. People value you. They value your opinion. They like what you have to say. That's a good thing. And not just on here. Okay? Not every conversation happens on YouTube. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll help you carry on, son of a crayon slayer. All day, baby. All day. Great song, man. Great song, great lyrics. But very true. And we all need it sometimes, man. Like that's just it. Like that, we all need it sometimes. It's okay. And Sharlock, you give 3 star that big old hug. Call him up. Call him up. Give his ass a hug. These next 7 weeks are tough. I do not, well, I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, they are. I'm sure they are. Believe that 100%. Um, some of these are great. I'm not gonna highlight them because I know y'all read them, so I don't need to. But y'all are funny, man. Y'all are really funny. Let's see here. La, la, la. Yeah, 3 star that clear drawer. I know what that clear drawer is. I know all about it. Todd C is in the house. Clint Jorgensen is in the house. No Cobra Kai spoilers. I'm not going to. Clint, this is a little bit different stream. I had some plans. I got a little backed up, Clint, and went to see some friends play tonight. Talented artists, and kind of got wrapped up in all of that myself. And so it just kind of got me said, hey, you know what? Let's ditch the script. Let's ditch what I planned on, and let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. Let's talk about it. And so I was kind of giving I think my thing about feel a little depressed and just kind of needing that kick in the ass sometimes, or that affirmation or whatever. So that's kind of what it's been about tonight, Clint. I wanted to plan on going over the Tyson Jake Paul fight, but that was a wash for sure. Um, and who is Jake Paul? Yeah, he's a YouTube personality. He made a lot of money off of YouTube, and I respect him for going into boxing 100%. He has dedicated a lot of time into boxing, 100% boxing. And yeah, Clint, I did, and just the fight was such a wash. It really was. There's nothing to it. And so yeah, I planned on trying to maybe just announce it or do a live reaction, but there was nothing to react to. There was no action. It was a fight with no action, and I can't wait to see some of these shows on Monday, the sports talk shows that I watch. I can't wait to see kind of how their take on it on Monday. I really can't. Sharlock also says I've had two people voice call me on IG recently. It surprised the hell out of me, but it made an impact. It wasn't even about anything important, but it wasn't expected and it made a difference. It's fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome, dude. Like it just is. It's one thing I've learned is that I of the last few years I've become quite the hermit. I've become the Obi-Wan Kenobi, so to speak. Not in the Jedi Knight way by any means. Um, and when I went out tonight, threw the hat on. I, I I still have some stage clothes. I still have some. I still have some. I got my shit kickers, man. I spent a lot of money on some boots. Okay, I call them rock and roll boots. They're cowboy boots. I spent a lot of money on them, and I picked the design out years ago. So I still have them. They still fit. That was tough tonight. And put my velvet style coat on with my cool shirt, and it just felt good. It felt good to get out. And it felt good because when I went there, guess what I saw? A bunch of people from my work, not workers, not coworkers, people that come in to see me at work, people that I talk to all the time. And when I walked in, they all had a shit fit. They all fucking were like, whoa, what the hell? Where's this guy from? That dude, what? Look at you. And the thing was, it felt good. Like that felt good. I don't do it enough. I never do it anymore. I go to work, I come home. That's it. That's my life. It felt good. It was really nice. And it was fun to have conversations without making drinks at the same time. It's like, and again, these are normal human interactions that we all have, but like I haven't had them. I don't do them anymore. It's so rare for me. And so, it's what I did for years. It's so natural. And so it felt so great to be around people that I know, listening to great music, participating in that music. And I'm not going to get into everything, but Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. It was really fun. It was great to be out and just be around people that like you, that like to hear what you have to say. They want to talk to you. Um, I have a very small circle, but that circle got a little bigger tonight, and that was a lot of fun. So that's why I was late, and I really do apologize. I'm actually shocked at the number of people that actually are in here right now, to be honest with you, at this time of the night. But it really is appreciated. And yes, I am going to do a sports channel, Pop Blender Sports. It will be a secondary channel. It will be mainly be on football. I am a Pittsburgh Steelers and an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, so it will definitely feature those two teams. But I'll probably go through picks for the week, point spreads, and maybe look at a little film, stuff like that. So I am a huge sports fan. I am a fanatic. Um, Honestly, especially when it comes to football. So that's something I've been wanting to do. I bought a standing desk now that can go up and down so I can stand. I can be on my feet, right? I've got a lot of shit to clear out here, so I'm going to move my setup, change my setup. It's time to get busy. Time to get busy. New year, let's go. I'm ready to do it, and I hope you guys are too. Shit, I love to talk, so any reason I have to talk some more, I'm fucking ready. I am not a Titan fan, my friend. We didn't have the Titans until I was in my mid 20s. Steelers fan since I was probably about 3 years old, 3 or 4 years old. Um, and Our neighbors here were from Pittsburgh. They were diehard fans, and I took to that very, very quickly as a young child. And so, yeah, I'm a huge, and I mean a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Last week against Washington, I was on the edge of my seat the whole game. And guess what? This Sunday against the Ravens, damn if I got to work. Son of a bitch. But I do have the NFL package. I'm going to put that shit on the TV. And I swear to you, that game will be on one of my TVs while we watch the 2-8 Titans or whatever the hell they are on the other ones and have the volume up and all that shit. It's what we do here. But yeah, no, I'll be locked in, baby. I'll be locked in, and fuck them Ravens. Clinton Jorgensen says, I used to live in Pittsburgh, but I'm a Cowboys fan, but a very realistic Cowboys fan. You should be this year. They've had some great teams the last few years. They just haven't been able to do anything with it, man. Um, and As far as what part of Pittsburgh, if you're referencing, so I had neighbors here in Nashville. They were from like suburbs, obviously. I can't remember exactly where. I mean, again, I'm going all the way back to around 77, right? 78. But they had the towels, they had the jerseys, right? I mean, Franco, I mean, all the names. You all know the names, right? Bradshaw, Harris, Blyer, Blunt, Lambert, Ham. I mean, just you could name 10 of them right off the top of your head. If you're a casual sports fan in a way. So that was huge. Super, super huge. It's 12:56. Is that time for another drink? I think it is actually, and I could use one. I don't have to work till 4 o'clock tomorrow, so I could actually use one. I could really, actually, honestly, probably use a coffee or at least wet my whistle. Is it possible if I just throw on a little bit of music that um, I'd like to play a video? Matthew, can you send me the link for the commercial? uh Whatever. I do need to grab at least something to wet my whistle really quickly. I'm definitely not done by any means, and if you guys are willing to hang out for a little bit, but I could probably fix a coffee in the Keurig real fast, but you'd have to give me maybe 2 minutes away from the mic. Are you guys cool with that? If you are, great. If you're not, that's great too, and I'll just stay put. And I don't want to lose anybody, but at the same time, I'm realistic, not dumb. And so I do need to wet my whistle. My Red Bull's empty, which I shouldn't be drinking a Red Bull at this time of night, but I am stupid. So I'll put on a little funky stuff of put a little funky tune on in the background if you guys are okay with it, and I'll just go grab something very, very, very quickly and come right back. I promise. If I can find the funky little jam that I like to play sometimes. That's the one. Whew. That's nice. Yeah, tracker in the car, baby. Feeding the ducks. I love feeding the ducks 3-star. That is one of the that's definitely one of the cooler ones. It's kind of a sexy song, actually. Feeding the ducks. I'll play Feeding the Ducks for you guys. Here you go, just for you, 3-star. If you guys can give me like 2 minutes, I promise you I will. Yeah, I'm all about that bass slap too. This is more like sexy time, you know. A little slow for my tastes. Maybe a little Isley Brother-ish in a way, right? But there are some good little funky songs that you can get off of or copyright free shit. Anyway, whatever. But if you guys can give me like a 2 minutes, I can at least start the Keurig and boom, 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 and I'll be right back. I promise you. And we can just keep on going until you guys are. Until you guys say to hell with it. We're out of here. Otis McDonald. We cruising. What is this? Oh, now we're going. This is almost like Grand Theft Auto-ish. Ooh. I like the phase shifter on it, too. All right. Give me 2 minutes, y'all. I promise you I will be right back. Man, I love y'all. Fucking A right. You guys are fucking awesome. Again, like, it's like 13 on the number watching. But what's so cool about that is like it didn't dip down to 6. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so cool. Trying to walk away from a stream, take a couple minutes here or there. Next time, though, I got to make sure I turn the lights on because I put a little too much water in the Keurig and it kind of went and it's on the floor, but what are you going to do? All right, let's see. Oh, I went up one. I did. Bing, bang, boom. There we go. I opened mine last night. So I'm guessing that maybe those are some dragonfly conversations going on. Maybe not. Let's turn the music down just a little bit. But I'm gonna leave on this kind of 90s jam in the background. Have a little something going. I do love me that Starbucks Keurig. But man, oh man, do I love that donut shop. Just that your local Publix or Kroger or wherever you shop at, Albertsons, whatever. That donut shop coffee, man, I love that. 3-star, which one do you like, man? Which one do you like? And I would play my Tay-Tay. I would play my Tay-Tay all day long, y'all. Just shake it out. Shake it out. That's Tay-Tay, right? Anyway, yeah, what kind of coffee do you guys like? Do y'all like coffee? Do you like I like the donut shop blend because it reminds me of like Krispy Kreme if you're down here in the South, or Dunkin' Donuts. That's pretty close to that flavor that they have, so I like that. It's kind of generic. It's not a special brand. I like Folgers. Folgers. Their breakfast blend is nice. It's easy. And for those of you that don't drink coffee, like Requiem, for instance, not a coffee fan. Well, I understand that, and maybe one day you will be. It is an acquired taste. I drink it. I like it like I like my women. It's black and hot. Wait, what? What? Hang on. No. Yeah. Wait a minute. Anyway. But I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's late, right? It's late, y'all. It's late. I do like it black though. No joke. No cream for me, baby. We don't need no cream. Straight up. So real quickly, who got the dragonfly? Who got it? And 3-star says he decided on the stickers. And yes, it's true. Earlier, I would have been back by now if I had just fucking left. You know me. I got to talk a whole bunch first. A lot of times, probably people are like, I wish you would have left. You keep talking. Who got the dragonfly, man? Come on with it. Who got the dragonfly? As I look through our coffee choices. Oh, Mendoza, Maxwell House. I'm good with that. The classics, baby. The big brands. I'm not no Starbucks, but they were buy one get one free at Publix, and that's a pretty good deal. And I like their black coffee. I do. So I got it. I do have my best dad ever mug right here that my son gave to me on Father's Day, which I appreciate. And it is one hell of a mug. It's heavy. It's thick. And love it. Let's see here. Sharlock also says I might do my dragonfly unboxing on Instagram. Never done it before. Thought it might be cool. It would be cool, Sharlock. You should do it. Just like 3-star tells me. Just do it. Just do it. Who cares? Just do it. Might not be your thing. Just do it. Be fun for you. If it's fun for you, then who gives a shit? Dutch Brothers. Yeah, I've heard good things about Dutch Brothers, man. War Chest, I've not had Dutch Brothers, but I should try it sometime. Matthew says I hate coffee. I fully understand that as well, and I can fully understand why. Todd C says I drink espresso. All right. I've had espresso a few times. I worked in a hotel bar for just a little bit back in 2010. And they had an espresso machine, and I wore that son of a bitch out. Not gonna lie. Let's see. My dad drinks it liberally, to say the least. Eh, I don't drink a ton of it, but I have found myself drinking it in the morning and late at night. But I can go to sleep after coffee. Same time says I quit coffee before it had different flavors, kind of like vodka. I remember vodka and rum before it was vanilla and popcorn and cotton candy and wedding cake and all that stuff. And 3 Star Draw says my blood is probably about 70% coffee by now. That is very true, and it has been since high school, or at least just out of high school. Iced coffee, that is, y'all. That's how he likes it, with ice. Classic French vanilla says, son of a crayon slayer. I like a French vanilla, and as a matter of fact, I would go into a Mapco or whatever gas station near you in your city, and I would do the French vanilla. I would do that often. That's the only time I'll ever have it with any creamer or flavoring or anything that makes it look, instead of black, looks tan. That's the only time I'll ever do it. Matthew says, I got my Dragonfly yesterday. Can't open it until Christmas. That was a Christmas gift for you. Well, I am so sorry. Once you do your review on it on Instagram, Matthew, you'll be way behind and you're going to get 3 views and all that stuff, right? Nah. Oh, open it when you can. I didn't think I was going to be able to open mine 2 days after I got it, and it took me 2 days. Todd C says we all got one. Yeah, I figured. I figured you did. Let's see. Matthew says, I use Maxwell House coffee grinds on my Battletech miniature bases. Okay. Well, I can see where coffee grinds with dioramas and stuff like that, I can see where that would be actually pretty cool and have different uses for it, whether those are beans or grinds, right? Like there's so many ways. I mean, people that do photography, especially, man, the creativity, I think is amazing. It really is. I look at some of this stuff and I'm amazed at you guys and the pictures that you take, the lighting, everything. It's so creative, and I wish I had that creativity in myself. Warchest says, I got my Dragonfly a few days ago, but didn't put it together until today. I'm blown away. The loadouts are amazing. I agree with you, Warchest. I love it. I love it. I really do. I am pleased. No decals yet, but don't know if I will. I don't plan on selling it unless, for some unforeseen reason I need to. And it's not going to draw me that much money, right? But I love it, man. I know it's up here, and I know the camera's kind of pulled in. I didn't move it back up like I did the other night. But I love it. I really do. I really appreciate this toy. I can't wait for the Rattler. I'm excited for the Rattler, and I'm proud to say that I backed the Hiss tank. I waited till the last day, but I'm proud to say that because I'd heard so much about the product and the excitement for it, and it was going up against Reva's lightsaber, and so I had to do my part to show Disney that I want the Hiss tank in a 1/12 scale more than I want a shitty character's lightsaber. So that's what I did. But no, I love G.I. Joe, and you guys probably know that. Warchest also says hot or iced coffee for me. 1 sugar, that's it. Sharlock says, Matthew Madsen, Warhammer 40K, bro. In response to maybe the miniatures. I don't know. Don't care. I don't mind highlighting y'all's chats in between each other, man. Requiem says, I love my Nana's tea. And yeah, your Nana makes some good tea. That's for sure. Yep, I'm with you. I've had it before. And it's funny because 3 Star Draw says, yep, cold and black like my heart. Not true, but sometimes. Not true, but sometimes. How about that? Is that funny enough? Yeah, your damn brother did like that French vanilla creamer. Holy moly. Go to the gas station and steal like 15 little cups of it. I agree with you. Clint Jorgensen says, got my 2 Dragonflies Wednesday. Probably won't open one until Thanksgiving weekend. So you have that patience. People have that patience, right? Like they have that patience. Do you not have space for it? Is that part of it? Like trying to figure out where to put it? Or is it just, hey, look, I'm excited, but I'm not that excited? Right? Has that excitement worn off? Or have you seen reviews and you're just like, okay, I've seen everything there is with it. I know what it comes with, so I don't need to just jump right into this thing. I took 2 days. It was out of necessity because I had to work on Monday and Tuesday, and it came Monday morning, or Monday, while I was at work, rather. And so it just kind of sat there all day. So let me know. Let me know if it was just, hey, I've seen everything and it's cool, or I kind of have to, or I don't have room for it. I can understand that. Matthew says, with the flaws in Dragonfly, I worry about the Rattler. Yeah, I can understand that. There are flaws. I think they will learn from them, but we also know that Hasbro has been losing money for quite some time, and they're looking for ways to cut costs, save money, fire employees. These are all true statements. And anybody that tries to say they're not, that is false. These are true statements. So we have to understand that. So looking into a new world, looking into the days ahead, the weeks ahead, the months ahead, the years ahead, maybe those things will change. But this is a very specialized industry. We know this. The people that are buying the toys are, I would dare say, unless they're 4 and under, 6 and under, toys aimed at kids like that. Your average kid ain't buying G.I. Joe Classified. Your average kid is not going out there and supporting a lot of the products that you and I buy. Especially, they're not buying Mythic Legions. They're not telling mom, get me Mythic Legions. They're not doing that. We know that. These are specialized. But with G.I. Joe in particular, I just feel like, we are the customers. So I think maybe they will adjust that, and they're gonna work on it. 3 Star says Rattler going to take 2 years to get it right. As much stuff they have to replace with the Dragonfly, and they may very well be the case. They may be replacing canopies, gull wings. They may be replacing all kinds of shit on this Dragonfly. Who knows? I wish that wasn't the case. Tony's Figs on the West Coast, baby. What up, Jake Paul fans? What up, Tony Figs fans? I, for one, am a Tony's Figs fan. I love that guy. I hung out in a pool with that guy for more than a few hours. And he was a wonderful human being. So anybody, if you get a chance to meet Tony from Tony's Figs, I encourage you, please do that. He is a fantastic person, great human being, and was a lot of fun to hang out with. And I'll take that shit to the bank every fucking day. Clay Jorgensen says, I'm expecting the HasLab whale to be the best when released next summer. Yeah, we're all waiting on the whale, aren't we? And Requiem. Don't think I've forgotten about my jazz recommendations for you. I promise you, son, I will not forget that. Weather Report. Look them up. Weather Report and Jaco Pastorius. Look that up too. Yeah, Todd, I'm with you. I mean, look, I didn't want to force the gull wings, but like Punk's review, he showed those stress places on the cockpit. I think that's important. I think those are things that were missed initially, but because he had some prior information, like 3 Star Draws video, for instance, and a couple others that showed those things happening, then he had the information to then make his informed review and look towards that and say, hey, maybe I'm going to point this out. Maybe I'm going to look for this ahead of time. And he did so. And I think that's to the benefit of a lot more people who are going to watch that video and then see that when they get theirs and go, okay, yeah, there's a stress point here, right? I see it. It's clear plastic. I see the stress point, right? Maybe wouldn't have looked for that, but now someone that I watch pointed it out. I love that. I appreciate that. Let's see here. 3 Star Dog says, I got to rearrange about 20 figures, but the Dragonfly where I plan on putting it, it's probably going to fly around the house for a while before that happens. I hear you. Boy, I wish it flew. Good God Almighty. Can you imagine that? Holy shit. Matthew Matson says, I've got 2 Robo Skulls, complete Marvel G.I. Joe Omnibus, Savage Crucible Wave 2, and a pile of loot for Christmas also, and maybe divorce papers in the spring. Well, I hope not, my friend. And maybe if you start to monetize your collecting, you can write some of that stuff off for tax time. It's one of the good things about maybe getting monetized on YouTube is that, you can write shit off. I'm hoping that Trump follows through with no taxes on tips. In my industry, that's huge. Are you kidding me? But I'm not stupid. Clint Jorgensen says, I'm not opening it because I got done with our month close and then have to get our quarterly financial statements ready for a board meeting in early December. Well, that makes perfect sense. When real life gets in the way of the fun stuff, right? For sure. So yeah, man, like, look, I got mine. It sat for a couple days. I told 3 Star, full disclosure, before we did our video for our stream last Wednesday night on Seven's Wild. I said, man, I've got some stuff to do today. I had to go pick up G.I. Joe Energon Universe. I bought 3 covers. Did I show those off to you guys? I think I did. I'll grab them real quick. I'll do it one more time because maybe you're interested, maybe not. So here's the deal. I'm just gonna run through a list, man. You guys tell me. I'm gonna run through a list of comics. Let me turn my light up here real quick, and do it. Kind of like this groove, man. That's a cool little groove. This was the cover. This is my favorite cover of G.I. Joe #1, the Energon Universe crossover. Cobra Commander reaching out. Duke is in the visor. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. That was my favorite one. They actually did have about 10 to 12 covers at my local comic shop, and I appreciate that. I'm not into all that variant shit, but I appreciate that. And I'm glad they did that. And that shows they care about their customers, at least. Maybe nowadays. They didn't when 3 Star tried to sell a Star Wars collection, but maybe they do now. Maybe under different ownership. This was the other cover I got because I was like, well, I've got to get G.I. Joe, right? I got to get that one. But because the artwork is similar, I had to get the Cobra one, right? So I had to get this one, right? I had to go with that one, right? I had to go with that one. So I got 3 G.I. Joe #1, Energon Universe. Very happy about that. Love it. Can't wait. So I don't really know where to put this shit. All right. Destro #4, Destro #5. All about that shit. Love it. Love the way it finished. I appreciate also them bringing in a character from the Transformers cartoon and her father's company. I did get Void Rivals. Still collecting that. Haven't finished reading it though. But if you know who that is, you guys tell me. Who is that on Void Rivals? You know who that is? Transformers comic? You guys know who that is? Seen that? Heard about that? Seen that? Heard about that? Transformers #14. G.I. Joe #3. What was that? 310. I also picked up Star Wars in Battle of Jakku, Insurgency Rising. I'm curious about this comic book. I've got the first 3 or 4 of it. I did pick up the Star Wars 50, Marvel 50 with the Vader and the Luke, 2 different stories, which I find interesting. There's another Insurgency there. Scarlet, all day, whatever. That's G.I. Joe 310. I'm very guilty of forgetting what comics I buy and ending up with doubles and triples, and I did that shit again. And then this is one of my favorite covers in the G.I. Joe Real American Hero #43. It was one of my birthday cakes. Gotta love it, baby. Matthew, who is writing the Jakku book? I'll tell you real quick. Look, guys, I love Star Wars. I do. Like, I fucking love Star Wars, and I hate what's being done to Star Wars right now. And I want it to be better. I want to love it. Because I do love Star Wars. This is issue #1. Segura, Kirk, Raphael, Rosenberg, and Sinclair. Don't know if I know any of those names. But bottom line is that I'm excited for comics for the first time in a long time. These last several months have been exciting. And I'm glad. I love comics. I spent You know when you have like 14 buttons on your mouse and you accidentally hit one? But I do love comics. Love comics. I always have. Spent hours in comic shops as a kid. My mom would drop me off, and it was just great. And I didn't sit there and talk with the guys at the counter, you know, and all that stuff. But like I do. I love comics. And so I'm appreciative. I'm glad there were some good things happening. Good things happening. And yes, Clint, that was like an ending of the Sopranos. Let me kick into some Journey for you guys. That'd be a great way to end this show. Yeah, that was totally unexpected. And it's because I have a mouse that has 14 different buttons and only 3 of them really work for me. And the rest of them are all icing on the cake, as they say. But anyway, so yeah, the Jakku book, Matthew, look into that. I have not actually read it. But again, like I said, I do love Star Wars, and so I'll give it a shot. Give it a shot, man. I'll always look. As much as I rail on you know, movies and TV and Hollywood and shit like that, and you guys and some of y'all are probably tired of hearing me and maybe some politic wise, whatever. I will give shit a chance, man. Like, I promise you, I am all game. I want things to be good. I want good entertainment. I want to be entertained again. I've heard The Gladiator 2. I've heard that other than the CGI and the sharks and the fucking Coliseum and shit, and I don't know if that shit really happened. You correct me if I'm wrong. I don't fucking know. That's kind of difficult to do in my opinion back then. Transporting a shark probably wasn't a good idea back in those days. My point being is that I'll give that movie a shot. Hell, I may go see it on Tuesday before our stream, Matthew, and review it. Right? I mean, you know, it's part of the gig, right? So, whatever. But I've heard okay things about it. Gladiator 2. So, I would never expect that movie to succeed or do well, but I've heard good things about it, and from people that I trust. When it's people I trust, I feel even more emboldened by that. So yeah, I'll give anything a chance. You win me over, you win me over. Period. I just think we're ready for a return to some good dialogue, some good plots, some good characters. That's what we want. We all want that. It translates. I don't care what kind of story you're telling. It translates. Good character, hero's journey, good writing will always translate. No matter what agenda, no matter what ideology, no matter what you want to say, those 3 things will always win the day. Always. Yeah, Clint, I get you, man. Keeping all those comics straight. You actually can. There's Real American Hero, which has nothing to do with the Transformers and shit. It's just a continuation of the original Marvel run. And then you have the G.I. Joe, which the new one with Skybound Image, which is just combining Transformers and G.I. Joe together. And what they did is they decided to do a few characters with their own little 5-issue comics leading into that. And I like it. I think it's fun. I really do. Sherlock, I'm with you, man. Interested in anything where Luke is still a hero, and that's why I'm not very interested in the new announcements for the movies that Disney is making. It's supposed to be a continuation of Rey's story, and I think Rey's story is extremely boring. I don't hate the character. I don't hate the actress at all. I don't dislike her, dislike the character. It just was not done well. And so I'd like to see them give proper props to Luke fucking Skywalker. Tony's Figs, I will stop fingering my mouse when you stop fingering your... Wait a minute. That's messed up. I'm just messing with you, buddy. You know that. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, this mouse literally has 16... It's like 16 buttons. And I'm like, what would somebody do with 16 freaking buttons? And do you make the mistake I made as a dumbass and a 50-year-old is to accidentally put your thumb on it. I have to literally keep my thumb off of this thing. So But anyway, so those are some of the comics I picked up. I really do. I enjoy the comics. I read through the last 2 issues of Destro yesterday. I read through the initial G.I. Joe Energon universe issue. And some of y'all know this. I'm sure you all know this. You could have put your picture in the comics. If you went with the Joe team or the Cobra team and pledged your allegiance. War Chest, I believe your picture's in there for Cobra, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a pretty damn good picture. And I think it's you. Please confirm that it's you. The other one I thought I saw was Krusty Old Crow, but it was not him. But it damn sure looked like him with that glasses. Other than that, I cannot recognize anybody else in these pictures. And at the same time, they have to stretch these out over several issues. There's no way this is all the pictures, because every variant cover that they made has the same pages of pictures in it. So if you send in a picture to them, they may very well get around to it, but it might take 4, 5, 6 issues. It might take longer than that. And then Matthew says my pick wasn't because they asked for collections. Well, if they asked for collections, I can tell you there's not a single collection featured in any of the pictures, right? It's literally just headshots. Some of them are dogs. It's a picture of a dog. So, they asked for collections. That's great. But if you took a picture of you in front of all your figures and shit like that, it ain't going in there. They're literally headshots. And if War Chest is still here, please verify that that's your picture, because it is literally your picture, dude. Like, it's you. It has to be you. And then collections, as in money or toys. Well, they asked for collections. Yeah, I mean, they didn't ask for money. I mean, I hope they asked for money. That's pretty shitty. 3-star says, I'm going to be pissed if mine wasn't in there as much as I promoted it for him. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's going to take time. I mean, there's no way. I didn't add up all the squares, right, for Joe and Cobra, because they're like 2 pages each. It's like a 2-page spread for Joe, 2-page spread for Cobra. I didn't add up all those boxes, but Lord knows there has to be many, many more pictures they got. So it looks like headshots, no collections, no figures, no nothing. Some dogs, which is cool, but I find it kind of funny. But yeah, so it may take them a few issues to get to that. It might take them a little while. I suspect it will. That's a cool little jam, man. I gotta admit, I like that. It's in the background. That's fun. Let's see here. This is mine as a headshot. 3-star draw says, with Cobra Commander and Destro in front of me. Yeah, it could be. I mean, I don't know if there were any, they maybe didn't spell it out for the qualifications or regulations or say, hey, but at the same time, there might be things where they're like, yeah, no, we really don't want to show, because all these pictures, I don't think they show any figures. I really don't. So it doesn't appear that way. And I've gone through all 3 books, and all 3 pages or all spreads are the same for the fans. This is what the Team Cobra looks like right here. And that's why I said there's War Chest full of toys. If you know him, if you've seen him, you can pick him out. That's him going, wah, wah, wah. That's War Chest. That is 100%. If it's not, I will take a pie to the face. That is, if you can see it, I'll try to put it right front and center. Bottom row on the QR code page right here. Bottom row, second from the left, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe, I don't know, whatever screen. The big old white beard. That is War Chest. Yes, it is. The only other one I saw was Krusty Old Crow, but it wasn't him. So I don't think he sent a picture in. And he would have been on the Joe side anyway. He's a good guy. Come on. Krusty Old Crow. That's a Joe through and through, baby. He is all heart, that guy. And a veteran. Thank you for your service, Crow, even though it's not from my country. Does it not Like, it really does, bro. Like, seriously. I'll hold it up even closer for you guys. War Chest Full of Toys has been on my streams before, so, it's not like I'm exposing this guy. So, this picture, right? Let's see. Okay, see the guy going, wow, with his head cocked sideways and the big white beard? That is War Chest Full of Toys. With the glasses, black rim glasses, the hat. If that's not him, he needs to come on here right now and defend himself, ladies and gentlemen. War Chest, where are you? Did you drop out, buddy? I get it. We're all old. So look, y'all. Is there anything else I wanted to go over? I don't even know. I gotta look up my description real quick. Is there anything y'all want to talk about? I mean, other than, enjoying the dragonfly, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I do love it. I really do. I enjoy it. I have not gotten into the figures yet. I will get in to find out whether those drop hips are a thing. I have to watch 3 Stars newest review. Punk had a couple good ones, probably about 1,000 views. Those are great, man. That's fantastic, especially after the fact, right? And so I need to catch up on those. Video game consoles dying was something I wanted to talk about tonight and got a little bit derailed. But my point being is that Microsoft has come out with technology now where you can have access to a beefy gaming PC through the internet without having to have the hardware or spend the money on it. And you'll be able to play those games and have ray tracing and all the shading effects as long as you've got great internet, which I would suggest being Ethernet connected. If you have fiber in your area and you have an Ethernet connection to your modem, then you can enjoy playing games as if you owned a $5,000 or $6,000 PC. You can do that. So that is exciting, and I think that's going to put an end to the console wars. The Sony PlayStation is going to have to change their model, right? The Xbox is not going to be as important. You don't need to buy one. The only one you'll really need to buy is a Switch, because that is so unique and so independent that that's the only one you're really going to need to buy. And that's on the cheaper end, right? But when it comes to major AAA games, you're going to be able to have access to this stuff without having to pay the abhorrent prices for a console. I mean, you just are. It's the truth. And as a video game player, as a gamer, not online gaming, but single player games. I want to stream the new Silent Hill remake. I'd love to stream the Silent Hill remake of Silent Hill 2. Resident Evil 2 even, which came out a few years ago. Those are great games. But you don't have to worry about having buying an Xbox Series X for $500 or whatever to play it. You'll be able to subscribe for $25 a month and have your pick of the litter, and I think that's a great thing. I hate it for preservation's sake, but I think it's a great game, great thing for accessibility. That's for sure. Let's see here. Also, let's see. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's cut that down. Stand-up comedy. That was something also that I wanted to bring up. Stand-up comedy. Comedy's been suppressed the last few years, and I'd like to see it make a comeback, and I'd like to see it make a comeback with people not being afraid to laugh at themselves. I want people to be able to laugh at themselves. I want people to be able to have a sense of humor, to not take things so seriously, no matter what culture, color they are, whatever. We're all human. We all experience the same shit to a degree. We do. And I think comedy needs a resurgence. Comedy is not safe. Comedy is not safe for people. And yes, Clint Jorgensen, there is a new Switch coming out very soon. You're 100% correct. Comedy's not safe. And comedy was where you're underground, where people really drove the conversation. Right? And so being able to make fun of yourself, being able to laugh at yourself, laugh at some of your cultural issues and things and whatever, is crucial, because it's relatable for many, many people. And I think that hopefully stand-up comedy in particular. Stand-up is one of those things where like you go to a show, and you see a couple comics, and you come out of there and you're feeling great, and you've been laughing all night. That's a positive feeling. It's great affirmation. You know, you've been laughing all night, and you tell your buddy, or you tell your work group, or whoever the hell you went with, you're like, man, we got to do that again. We that was so much fun. We've got to do that again. And then 10 years later, you end up at a comedy club, same scenario, and then you're telling your coworkers or your buddies, oh my God, we got to do that again. That was so much fun. And then 7 years later, rinse and repeat. That is very typical, because most people are not hardcore comedy fanatics, and they don't seek it out. And especially with some comics, they might be, they might attack the audience, but it's obviously part of the act. So, so I would like to see a return of stand-up comedy, not being afraid to say certain words or things. And I'm not talking about being crazy offensive or nothing like that. I am saying, though, that comedy has always pushed the boundaries. It's creative. I want to see those boundaries pushed again. And as Clint said right here, says you can do comedy, just depends on where you're at. A place like Tennessee, Chappelle, Maher, and whoever would feel comfortable with any joke they want to say. I think that's true. And listen, they're not stupid when they set up their tours. They're not dumb when they set up the places they're going to be performing at, right? Even if it's in a city that maybe not as crazy about what they talk about. If the club or whatever is a free speech zone, which everything, right, should be, then except obviously private business, and listen, we're not stupid. Common sense, right, folks? Common sense. But my point being is that when it comes to comedy, comedy's dangerous. It's dangerous in a good way, because it makes us look at ourselves through a different lens and laugh at ourselves because of how goofy we are, because of how we find something so important to us, right? But they're really not important in the grand scheme of things. And so I've hated to see the downfall, so to speak, of stand-up comedy, because everybody's had to watch what they say. Can't offend anybody. Well, you can't make shows and movies and TV and comedy specials and stand-up in a way so that you don't offend anybody, because at the end of the day, you can't achieve that. You can't achieve that. So instead of worrying about walking on eggshells, you worry about smashing those eggshells. And if people get mad, like they have for decades and decades and decades, then fine, so be it. They'll get over it. Right? So I'm really hoping stand-up comedy. And I need to make it a point to go visit the local Zanies comedy store, comedy place here in Nashville that's been around for many decades, to see more comics and support local comics or up-and-comers, especially. The last comic show that I went to at Zanies a few years ago had an absolute blast. It was unbelievable. And when I walked out, you know what I said? What I said earlier. Man, we need to do that again. That was a lot of fun. We really need to do that again. So it's kind of my point. It's like, it's easy to forget about. But man, when you come across a good comic who really makes your face hurt because you've been laughing the whole time, that's a great feeling. That's fun. It just is. And so yeah, I'm hoping for that a resurgence. California, New York, Oregon, you need to watch some of your jokes. And the thing of it is, if I was a comic, I wouldn't play there. Now people say, well, you got to play New York, got to play California. In today's day and age, brother, no, you don't. You don't. It's like college football now with the transfer portal. You don't have to play at the biggest schools. Does it help because you're facing the biggest competition? Yes. Yes, it does. It makes a difference. You hone your skills. But now that people can share things instantly, you don't have to do that, right? And so you don't have to play the biggest places. Maybe one day you'll get to them. But the ability for us now to share things instantly with people is crucial. And just like I said in sports, you're going to get seen. You don't have to be the third best linebacker at Alabama to get seen. You can go play at Alabama Birmingham, be the starter for 3 years, and get drafted, right? It's I mean, there's ways. You know, Alabama Birmingham isn't on TV every week, but there's people recording those games and they'll share the film. So it's the same kind of deal, stand-up comedy, and I hope it makes a real big resurgence. I hope people just put away this DEI stuff, they put away this political correctness shit, and they just be normal human beings, because that's what we are, and we thrive that way. I think invention, intellectual things have been stifled the last few years, and I think the human spirit, the American spirit, has been suppressed the last few years because of being afraid, whatever it is, being afraid to say something, being afraid to, walk somewhere or be somewhere, right? Multi-layered issues, but my point being is that the American spirit is strong, feels strong today, it feels strong this week, this last week, and that's a good thing. That is a good thing inherently. Regardless, it is a good thing. People feel confident, they feel good. That is only a positive, and I love that. So look, y'all, I have taken up so much of your time. We're going on, what is it? Started about 11, 12, 1, 2 hours and 45 minutes of your precious time. You've listened to me ramble on. You've listened to me make excuses as to why I was late today, for which I apologize profusely. And I will do better next time to make sure that doesn't happen again. I do really appreciate y'all hanging out with me for a couple and a half, 3/4 hours, and listen to this madman ramble. I really do appreciate all of you that have hung out and chatted, and give the stream a like, tell a buddy, bring a friend, whatever you feel like. I do really appreciate it, though. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit tired, but it was a good night, a fun night, a reinvigorating night. And so every now and then I like to take this time to just say, hey man, lean on somebody every now and then, right? I've been in a funk, maybe you are too. It's okay. We're grown ass men, man. We ain't gotta be all hippy dippy feelings and shit. But I'm telling you, man, it's good to lean on people sometimes. It's good to speak your mind. It's good for me to have these streams. I love talking. I love talking to y'all. I appreciate y'all showing up, man, like for real. Even being an hour late tonight. It's so important. And so I do really, really appreciate it. I also want to respect your time and respect what you guys have in life. And it is a weekend, right? Maybe that's the only time you do have to relax. So I do really appreciate it. And so thank you so much for hanging out with me and just let me wax on some music and talk about whatever. It is fun. I'll be back next Friday, and I will be bringing some of you with me. Anybody in this chat, if you would like to come along, I'll be glad to have you, baby. We'll jump on that big ass bandwagon, and I'll drive that sumbitch right up to the curb, and we'll all hop out of that motherfucker and grab a mic. I am A-okay with that. So I will make sure that I get that set up ahead of time. I'll make sure the link is out there for anybody that wants to join. And we'll just kind of hang out next Friday night, kick around a little bit, talk about whatever we want to. Show off your fucking toys. Bring your shit. Put it on the camera. You know what I mean? Put it up there. Your comic. Put it up there. Whatever you want. Put it up there. Let people see it. You know? That's what it's all about. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I will be back on Tuesday night with Matthew Madsen for the Evening Blend, and we are going to go over several topics. And you guys really need to watch Tulsa King. It's a fun show. Talk about it again, and a little bit more Hollywood news and stuff like that. So yeah, man. Thank you so much, guys. Y'all have a great night. Get you some sleep. I really appreciate you being here, and I will see y'all soon, man. Peace out.